taking down low-rent sleazy.
Missile warning, this is Beale. Confidence is high. I repeat, confidence is high. Roger, we've got 32 targets in track and 10 impacting points. I want to confirm, is this an exercise? Roger, copy. This is not an exercise.
Roger, understand. Major Reinhardt, we have a massive attack against the U.S. net at this time. ICBMs. Numerous ICBMs. Roger, understand. Over 300 missiles inbound now.
Are you there?
I am here.
Excellent.
I'm just back from apparently writing for the Real Time with Bill Maher show. We've been doing, I swear they've become into the microcosm listeners the last couple of weeks. Listen to one of our shows.
It's crazy, man. It's absolutely out of control. Hey, well, it's another week has gone by, and here we are. Unfortunately, we are not on Revolution Radio, as far as I know, because Rock and Rio is not here. And Rock and Rio is not here, and Rock and Rio is the man for Discord. So there's no Revolution Radio. But you're over here. So if you're here, then all good. And then we'll be live on Ground Zero Plus at 10:30 Pacific tonight. So looking forward to that. Bunch of people in the chat room already. Everybody, what's happening? It's good to see you. I mean, there is so much going on. So much going on. It's really a shame that we can't be on Revolution Radio. We've also been joined by CAC. CAC, are you here? I think you're there somewhere in the distance.
Yes. CAC is here, kicking back.
All right, kicking back with CAC. That'd be a good show. Kicking back with CAC. You could just go around to Arizona, different spots, smoke some weed, and just kick back. Like read a book or something, you know. Give people
on the Slack.
Yeah. Now, have you gone to Superstition Mountain Epic Journeyman? What about you, CAC?
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
So now, Superstition Mountain, tell us about it, CAC, because it's supposed to be a special place. It's actually supposed to be one of the places you can go and be if there's a pole flip and survives, apparently. This is what's been said. No. Have you heard this?
No, I've not been there. I've been to the Vortexes in Sedona, but Phoenix is pretty big. I haven't explored that yet. I've heard about it. A lot of people go there.
Interesting. Now, I'm getting this. I see Amp Worship in the chat. What's going on? Polynation's over there. Flippy's over there. Who's over? Linda's over there. Woohoo! Amber 2 is over there. And I'll have to go. Well, I mean, I guess nobody's over there in the Ground Zero Plus chat room since we're not on the air, so there's no point in me going over there now. It's filled to the brim until 10:30 p.m. So Epic Journeyman, no Kings over there in Hawaii tomorrow. Any protests going on?
I don't know which ones there are here. It's kind of last minute. I'm sure if I go outside, I'll find one. You know, it's over 2,000. I think they're up to 2,400 or something like that now across the country. So.
Well, listen.
There'll be some here for sure.
So let me ask you a question, CAC. How many protests are going on over there in Arizona? Have you heard about big protests tomorrow going on?
I haven't heard of anything in Phoenix or in Arizona, but you know, there's organizations here that get funded and need actors and stuff like that. So,
listen, man, I got a screenshot from last week I haven't shared it with you guys, but it was a Craigslist ad, and it was basically
No, I saw that. Yeah.
for $6,700, starting at $6,700 a week up to $12,500 a week. Did you see that one?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was real. Anybody can put an ad on Craigslist, and it could be fake, and they just put it up there, and they say, "So look," and then they make you take it down, or whatever. So that really doesn't necessarily mean anything per se. But I think, we have time, so we can talk about this right now. So, realistically,
Well,
first of all,
let me just lay this out real quick. They supposedly have a curfew in LA, but all you got to do is turn on the radio and you can hear the Dodgers and the Giants. They're playing at Dodger Stadium. So much for that curfew.
Well, the curfew,
that's right.
The curfew doesn't
right
apply if you're doing business somewhere, doing something. And that's one of the things. That's one.
Right? It's only a couple blocks downtown.
It's only a couple blocks.
That's one of the things I wanted to talk about and bring up. So first thing I want to say is, as far as this goes, one of the things that I noticed right off the bat is there is no leadership. There is no person making public statements to the media about any issues or any violations or what people are pissed off about. So I see no organization built around some leader who's out here expressing the griefs of a so-called group of people. Okay, second of all, if you're a person who's rolling in here and you're trying to come here and you don't want anybody to know that you don't have your shit together, okay, the last thing you're gonna do is go anywhere and make a fucking spectacle of yourself. The last thing, if you're hiding out and you're an immigration person and you're here and you're not, and you've overstayed your welcome or whatever the fuck it is, the last thing you're ever gonna do is fucking make a big spectacle of yourself. So what I'm asking you is, in a 5-6 block area in downtown Los Angeles, speaking of downtown Los Angeles, as far as Los Angeles goes, as far as the city of Los Angeles, it's fucking huge. Okay? As far as Los Angeles goes, the biggest shithole in Los Angeles is where? Downtown.
Yeah.
Downtown. Yeah.
Downtown. Now, I've seen a lot of these demonstrations now. Have you seen the level of demonstration that's going on the East Coast as opposed to across the country and even on the West Coast? Have you seen it? No. Check it out.
Yeah, have not.
It's literally unbelievable. Go look at it. Go look it up on Google right now. Go look at the map.
Oh, it's way bigger than LA. Yeah, it's cracking me up, man.
It's all across the entire East Coast.
Yeah.
So what I'm asking you is, if there is no charismatic leader, if there is nobody speaking and driving people to mass around this problem, who is it that's going to these fucking demonstrations? Okay? Because I'm asking you, who's going to these demonstrations? Because the people that they want to arrest are not going to go to demonstrations, be all in one big group so they could just come in there with a net and throw it over you and throw you in the fucking whoosh gal.
Yeah, the hoospa.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
So all this is being organized by people. Someone's organizing all of this. Okay, who is it? Epic Journeyman. Do you know who's organizing all this, or who these different groups are? These NGOs that are out there with all this shit.
Some people are just pissed, but I mean, when you look at the outside, the aerial views, like I've been watching all the different news channels. It is funny, like to flip through channels and see the different viewpoints. Like the first day, they were focusing on the guys who were burning the Waymo taxis, self-driving cars. They were calling them in and then setting them on fire. And so those agitators, those guys, were the guys getting all the attention. But when you zoomed around, you looked outside, there's 400 demonstrators and there's thousands of police officers, right? Like they dwarfed the amount of protesters. And then by the time it was the second, third day, there was like 100 guys out there. You know what I mean? Just like way more media than there was actual demonstrators. Because like you said, the people who might want to be demonstrating, that have a beef with that kind of situation, are not going to show up and get thrown in the hushkal,
That's
right?
what I'm saying. I'm telling you right now, was East Los Angeles burning? Is there any
You know,
riots
they burned like a couple of Waymos and a couple of CHP cars on the highway.
in
you
East
know,
Los
but that
Angeles?
wasn't even
No,
that wasn't even the demonstration center.
in
So
East Los Angeles?
not in East LA. No,
No,
that
that's
was
what I'm
like
saying. So where is the bulk of the Hispanic population in Los Angeles? Is it in the East Los Angeles?
East LA. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, on the east
Okay,
side.
yeah. So
yeah.
was there any riots going on in East LA?
No.
No. Did you see any footage of people driving around with Mexican flags hanging out the back of their trucks and shit? Did you see any of that?
I mean, you know,
No.
no more than usual.
No, but I mean,
it
just
wasn't.
saying.
It wasn't a scene. It wasn't a scene.
Hey, are
You
you?
know.
If hey man, if this dude's out of work, hey dude, I'll give you $500 if you take this Mexican flag and run across the street over there right now. Okay, all I want you to do, I'll give you $500. All I want you to do is run around with this Mexican flag right here. Why? Because let me tell you something. When you're running around with the Mexican flag, what are people in America thinking? They're thinking it's an invasion. They're saying, I've heard it a million times over this last week. It's a foreign invasion. Look, they're burning flags in here, and they're burning American flags.
Yeah, it's you know, typical provocation. You know, it's kind of like that movie Z. You know, they got the prognosticators and they got the actual political leaders out there making speeches and stuff. And there were people Sunday at Grand Central Park that were actually permitted to assemble, and they had a flatbed truck, and they were up there, you know, taking turns on the microphone. But the other stuff, you know, the crap that was going on the 101 freeway and on the other side by the federal building there, those were all, I think, pretty much staged, and they had skirmish lines and people trying to taunt the riot police. And even, you know, you look at that one Waymo car that was set on fire and the fake graffiti that was on it. I mean, it just looks like
It took a long time to put that on there, right? It took a long time to paint that.
it's like stagecraft, you know. So, yeah.
The most funny thing to me was I was watching right before the last guy with his classical Antifa outfit, right? You know, with the black, you know, ninja suit and the backpack and everything. Mm-hmm. Which, come on, man, nobody really dresses like that and does that stuff anymore. You're stupid, you know. It's obviously an actor, so to say, with his spray can of paint or whatever it is, lighter, throwing, you know, light, busting the back window out and lighting the fire. Well, that's going on. Right before that, they're showing this lady with her Palestinian flag and wearing the Habib or whatever out there. Not Habib, I'm sorry. But wearing the headdress, right? And then
burqa.
Well, she wasn't wearing a burqa. She had the wrong outfit, is what someone was trying to say. She had like she didn't have the Palestinian colors, right? She had like the Saudi colors, which is wrong, right? So obviously she knows what she's doing. And then walking up to her was these two guys carrying a big Israel flag, right? And so that was like the center of attention when they're blocking the 101, if you recall. It's like, come on, man. That's not legit, man. First they focused on the supposed Palestinian lady, then it focused on the two people walking into the crowd, you know, like they're gonna, you know, be agent provocateurs with the Israel flag, like to set up something, and nobody had any violent reaction to them. Yeah. It's like they just pan back out, and you see, like I said, there's max. That was most. There wasn't any of the days. That was 400 people, maybe, right?
Bernays.
LA knows how to have a riot if that's what you want. They've had riots. That was no riot.
Bernays sauce bringing up Black Bloc. Yeah, they were there too. Black Bloc. So there's a lot of these, like I'm saying, listen, if you're trying to fly under the radar, dude, you are not down there protesting. You're not going to walk into a trap. Now, I saw another thing today. Now, maybe you can help me out with this, Epic, because you're more up on military, you know, because you've been in the military. Obviously, you had to study books and stuff in there, you know, reading books.
That we did. Yep.
So apparently there was an arrest made by the Marines, and this was, I saw a thing that said it was the first time in the history of the United States of America that an American had been arrested by a Marine. What is the validity to that? Now, first of all, I want to point out, before you answer that, give you some time to think about it or maybe look it up. So they sent these Marines in there without any ammunition or any guns and without power to arrest anyone. So now I'm wondering how they had the power to arrest someone when they didn't have that power granted to them for their mission. And secondly, It was the same thing with these National Guard, as they had no live ammunition or the ability to arrest people. So, CAC, what did you hear about this? Epic Journeyman, what's the validity of the first person being arrested by the Marines?
Well, that's what Reuters is reporting, right? This is the first Marine arrest. But, I mean, Marines certainly detain people on shore patrol and things like that in the past. That's one of their jobs, right? Or
Americans on American soil?
No, it's people arresting, shore patrol and things like that, their own military personnel. It's not citizens. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they're not supposed to arrest. It's a posse comitatus violation, right? It's in the Constitution. You're not allowed to use the military as law enforcement on American soil.
That's right. Now, so I don't know what's going on specifically with this, but I mean,
they
obviously,
said that when I saw the same footage, they're saying that they didn't actually arrest; they detained the guy, right? And then the police arrested him. So that there's like a technicality. They're trying to find a loophole, right?
Okay,
they're not really arresting them; they're detaining.
If I'm the commander in chief, of my military, am I going to send my boys into harm's way with no bullets, no way to protect themselves? Am I going to put them in
not only that, they shouldn't send them in there, period. The commanders know not to obey an unlawful order. That's unlawful order. Don't go in there.
I'm not talking about unlawful order. I'm saying the common sense on the face of it, when you're saying it looks a little weird being in a 5 square block area. It looks a little bit weird with people with the protesters with high tech gear and all this shit. It looks a little bit weird, like the whole thing is staged. And if it is staged and you know it is, then you wouldn't send your boys in there with any bullets because you don't want to make any mistakes where you shoot and kill somebody.
Don't want an Alec Baldwin, yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying, right? Why would you send your military in there without bullets, Epic Journeyman and CAC? Why would you do that? Does it make any sense?
The only thing I can think of is they're trying to set a precedent, and call like a state of emergency where all bets are off. And once it goes through, if the courts don't block it, then they can do it again. So it's all about setting a precedent.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, we all know that. I mean, I've said from day one that
it's not legal.
Yeah, it's not legal, but the Trump administration, Trump himself, has wanted to invoke the Insurrection Act the entire time because it gives him, pretty much unlimited power, right? So that's the idea. But then he can run right over everybody, right? I mean, that's the thing. So we have to keep that from happening. So every time one of these guys goes out there and there's extremely well tagged cars from Waymo, it looks like they came straight from the paint shop, and the guy in a perfect Antifa outfit comes and torches it. It's an image that you can use to violate the city's on fire, and the city's on fire. There's nothing going on.
But in the meantime, the mayor hasn't asked for help and the governor hasn't asked for help. So
that didn't want help. Yeah, exactly. They said, get them out of here. We can handle this.
Yeah, they're saying all you're doing is just agitating things, which is true.
It is true. I mean, LAPD is one of the best, as far as handling riots or civil unrest. Let's use the term civil unrest. They're one of the best in the world, not just the country, in the world. I mean, they're the fourth best equipped and,
dude,
and
I was there.
Basically.
I was there for the Rodney King riots, man.
Back in '92,
my buddy got pictures of the National Guard on Venice Beach with machine guns and jeeps.
That was
with
right.
M16s. You know what I mean?
And they had a curfew.
Right, but that was a different chief of police. What was that dude's name? Gates?
That was Gates.
Yeah,
Daryl Gates.
Yeah,
with the batter ram.
Right, and the thing was, what happened was they let it get to the point, but the minute somebody tried to bash and run in the Beverly Center, because there's in Beverly Hills, it's not just what you know as Rodeo Drive. There's also, for other people who haven't been to LA, you think it's all like Rodeo Drive. It's not. There's another, it's like normal city most of the place, but there's a giant mall that has it's got like 6 floors, and the fucking thing's like a high rise. Well, it's a mall. Each floor is like a
Beverly
giant
Center.
the Beverly Center. Well, somebody tried to do a rip and run in there. And the minute that happened, the Gates called the governor and they fucking brought in the National Guard. And there was a curfew. And I was living down there then. And eventually I left after a week of that curfew. And every single night, the power's out, fucking gunshots, everything, guns going off. You didn't know what was going to happen. And the other thing I want to point out too is, which I didn't see happening here, was when these Rodney King riots were happening, there was fuckers coming from all over the place from away. They were in LA, but they were away from where it was going on, and they were coming there just to fuck shit up.
Yeah, coming in there, those gangland stuff, right? It really was. They were all uniting. They were just basically
everyone's like, "Fuck this!"
Go against the man.
Start throwing some Molotov cocktails, man. We went up to Hollywood. I was living in Venice. We went up to Hollywood with a bunch of guys from the Valley. We went up there. We went up in there, man. And we got up in there, and there was like these electronic stores. There used to be this thing called Circuit City, I think it was called.
Yeah. Box store. Yeah.
These dudes are like coming out of there carrying speakers on each shoulder, and shit was burning and smoking everywhere. People were running down the street with racks of clothing. I don't see any of that going on.
Vermont Avenue, where the Koreatown starts, and ends like around Olympic, right? They were actually on top of rooftops with shotguns and rifles protecting their businesses. So
that's when they called it the Marines. Yeah, they did call the Marines in for that. That's the only time, other than this time.
I think that's a militia group. The rooftop Koreans are a militia group down.
Well, yeah, but they were worried about actual like a form of civil war breaking out in town with the Koreans and the gangs. Yeah. So yeah, that was sketchy. That was legit riot there, right? I mean, we all saw that one. There's all kinds of looting going on. I don't see anybody looting right now. I don't see any. That stuff's going on.
Let's rewind. Okay, first of all, let's rewind a couple weeks ago on this show, and it was the second time we brought it up, but it was more extreme now. Is that we were pointing out that in a lot of these cities, San Jose, we're talking about San Jose, we're talking about San Francisco, we're talking about Los Angeles. A couple weeks ago, we were saying how, looks funny here. It looks like deserted. Why are all these ground floor buildings in these main business districts, all the restaurants and the retail shit's all closed? It's not there anymore. Seems a little bit weird. All the ground floor shit is gone. And it's dead. Where is everybody? Yeah. It's dead. Where is everybody? Well, I mean, it seems a little funny. All of a sudden there's all these protests going on, and this, stuff. That's where your shit gets messed up, is on the ground floor for the most part. It's kind of funny that all the ground floor retail and restaurant stuff seems to be closed out. I mean, you can go look, San Jose. Go look around. I mean,
yeah, it's ghost town. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was there not too long ago, and downtown San Jose. It's got that same feeling as downtown LA. Just a lot of ground floor commercial space, just completely empty. And for whatever reason, maybe it's because of the economy. Nobody can afford the rent there. The business is not doing well. But it's like that. And then if you go down to say like Santee Alley or the Garment District in LA, those are thriving. Those are bustling. Pretty much every day. And that's where ICE was making some of the raids there, for picking up some undocumented workers.
Yeah, I mean,
San Jose, I'm not sure.
And then you hear this thing where it's like, well, if you're in agriculture or you're working in hotels, you can stay. You guys can stay, but everybody else has to go.
The scene that cracked me up, man, was when they were chasing them across the strawberry fields, right? And I totally expected to hear like the Rams or and the coming out with the gorillas on horseback, rounded up the rogue humans, right?
Funny you should bring that up, man. It is. It's like Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
where the monkeys pull down the nuclear weapon, they knock it over. Ooh, man, that's a. I should watch that again. Beneath. Yeah, that's
predictive programming right there. They're also running a lot of ads for Border Patrol in Arizona here. So that's one thing I noticed. And they really make it edgy. And it's like, if you're made of the kind of stuff that's going to go that extra mile to do what doesn't feel comfortable, then come join us. So yeah, they're really doing that.
Well, I see a definite path to what we've talked to before about this begging for this needing this new ID system, because here comes. I mean, I don't want to start getting into this yet, because like I said, we're not going live until 10:30, and I really want to save some of what I have to say for that then. But, you know, in light of what's been going on over here.
But it's another problem, reaction, solution thing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about it on here. As soon as that Epstein, Elon Musk row comes out, I said, man, here comes fucking Iran. You know, and now here we are. I mean, it doesn't take a psychic to figure it out, though, right? This has been on the table for a long time, just like we've been saying. As far as what's going on, it's pretty intense.
It's way more intense than people think it is, because they signed that agreement with Russia, right, about them being allies just recently, like a month ago, right? Maybe 2 months ago now. But I mean, legitimate alliance, right? I mean, is Russia going to help them? Right? You have to ask yourself.
The thing is, I seriously want to get into this more, but the thing is it's in most people's minds, it's a sepia tone shithole with mud huts and people with turbans.
It's pretty advanced.
They don't realize that Iran is a vibrant, modern country with people that want the same shit that everybody here wants. I mean, I swear. I mean, I'm not trying to be a subversive or anything, but you should go take a look at, go on YouTube and do a 4K walk in Tehran or whatever, just, where someone just walks around with their camera, and take a look at it. It looks
it's very modern.
Baghdad before the war. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing people don't get. Like Baghdad's advanced culture, advanced city, super great highways with the writing the signs in English and Arabic, right? I mean, before we went in there, and blew the place up. I mean, Baghdad still is really nice. I mean, for the most part, and there still are those roads around. But you get an idea how developed it really was when you're there. And then Iran, Tehran is Tehran University is a great university if you happen to be a guy. Not so much for women anymore. But they're cultured, educated people. It's not like this is a bunch of people running around, like you said, in mud huts with a goat. It is.
No, I mean, it's just it's not like I remember John or
they actually have more of a middle class in Iran than they do here now.
Yeah, and a lot of young people, like 70% of the population is under 20. So,
they got degrees, and they're ready to go.
Rock and Ria just messaged me. Hang on a second. You guys don't have to stop talking. I'm just saying, hang on a second. Let me see if I can.
No, all good. Well, I'm just, a lot of people believe, and I'm one of them, that Iran, and just like Iraq is primed to, come to the Western way of living, primed to become a democracy, primed to, be more European than they are, third world, because they're not a third world country. Well, they want the same things we do.
The thing is, man, there's more to this than meets the eye, because the regime that's in there right now has got a lot of people that live in Iran are pissed at that regime. So the thing that's going, yeah. So the thing that's going on right now may spur or spark some sort of revolution within the country, because I saw news reports of some people going after some of these enforcers. Some of these local enforcers that have been real rough with people, beating people with sticks and all this shit. Some of these women beating them with sticks, like with a fucking stick. And, keeping people in line in the neighborhood, these enforcers. Well, looks like the enforcers don't have protectors right now, in light of what's going on. So some of the people have been rising up and hunting these enforcers down and kicking the shit out of them and beating them with some sticks. You know what I mean? So we don't know what's going to happen as far as that's concerned. I guess we'll find out. Rock and Rio, are you there?
I have made it through the warp of time.
Excellent. Well, listen, we're not on Revolution Radio because the only way to get on there is through Discord. And so I'm not sure once you get on there, if you can even make it happen.
I could try.
So I'm just letting you know we're dead over there as far as that's concerned. So hey, it's into the microcosm. It's Friday night. Rockario's here, Cax here, Epic Journeyman's here. I'm here. You're here. We're all here. Over here on YouTube in the microcosm. Jimmy Gene. If you're listening to this later on Ground Zero Plus, the full episode. But we were talking about the riots, Rock and Rio, and I'm glad you're here because I want to touch base with you on it. As far as the East Coast is concerned, because I noticed there was a lot of concentration, a lot of these situations, these protests that were, a lot of them were on the East Coast, and a lot of these East Coast cities, and not just New York City, but Pennsylvania and all over the place over there.
I'm actually not aware of anything going on in my immediate surroundings.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's what we were saying.
Yeah.
We're saying this doesn't seem like a movement. This seems like this seems just like a product, It's like, okay, well, do this, do that, Okay, well, we'll do this, then we'll do that, then we'll do this, then we'll do that. Then
Make sure you catch it on camera, right? One of that footage of the burning car. The thing that cracks me up is like the biggest demonstration I've seen the news covering different channels, other than the one in Los Angeles, is in Texas, right? So
the only two states that that this would cause an inflammation, we'll have to say have the biggest Hispanic populations would be California and Texas. I mean, out of all the states, I'm just saying maybe.
The former Mexican territories, right? They lost that territory in the Mexican-American War.
They didn't go starting this over in Texas. They started here in California, where it's just a little bit. The whole thing to me is suspect. Like I say, it's not. To me, there would be if this was an actual movement or some sort of a movement towards. Trying to take over some of the United States or whatever, this kind of shit, there would be a dude out there somewhere inspiring people to follow him and what he wants to do. Where's the Che Guevara or whatever? You know what I mean? Where's this revolutionary figure who's running against the governments or whatever? I don't see it. This whole thing looks staged to me, man. And I don't mean I'm not saying going so far as to say it's fake. But I'm just saying, it looks staged to me.
It's suspect when you realize that on the overpasses of the 101 freeway downtown, they had pallets of bricks and all that stuff. Just like, here, take them, break them, and throw them over and fuck up some squad cars, or screw up some Waymos. So it's still that kind of thing.
Like Atlanta. Yeah, like Atlanta. But the same thing. I tell you what, if from a couple years back, it's just like, I swear, if the guy with the umbrella man shows up with his other couple guys, there's those three guys that showed up in Philadelphia, Atlanta, in Minnesota, all those places, man. Same three guys, right? And they had the pallets of bricks, and the guy with the umbrella was like coordinated, and he was like the guy that was like in charge, essentially, that they'd coordinate through.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. Is it against the law if I fill up my car with a bunch of materials and bringing them down to a bunch of other people who are expressing their freedom of expression, freedom of speech? Is it against the law for someone to bring down some face shields and all that? Because I saw a big hubbub about, there he is, we got his face. The dude who brought the face shield. Where to get these high-tech face shields?
Well, PPE wouldn't be a problem. If they're bringing Molotov cocktails, that's a whole other thing. But face shields.
Let me just open everybody's eyes wide open, okay? Let old Jimmy bring a sense of calm and logic to the space. Okay, listen to me. If you were down there at that fucking demonstration and you had your little cell phone out, you're taking little pictures of yourself on a cell phone, well, guess what, man? I got you, man, and I got your cell phone, got your name, I got your number, and I can show up at your house at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning, kick the door in, shoot your dog, and drag you outside for everybody to see, because you are a disruptor. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wake up, man. Wake up. Want to know who that guy is? You don't listen. It's a joke. If you were down there, went down there. Tomorrow when you're out there. Yeah, when you're out there on all those protests, guess what? Yeah. Exactamundo, buddy. So don't play games, man. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. You know what, though? I'm surprised you just sparked something that I think more people should be thinking about. Downtown Los Angeles is like downtown San Diego. It's one of the most surveilled places in the state, right? There's cameras freaking everywhere. Everywhere you go, every public building has cameras on them, the facial recognition, the gate recognition, all those things are there. Every single library, city hall, city building, government building, every intersection in that downtown couple block area. There is no way those guys, supposedly spray painting those cars and torching them, they don't know who they are. They could follow them right back out to their car, wherever they went, or geotag them from there, and they know exactly, if they had a phone on them especially, who they are and where they went afterwards, where they came from. So the fact that they're still out there wandering around is either gross incompetency, or they brought them in the first place. It's okay. It's part of the plan.
Give me a break. They got this whole drone squadron. Could just fly in there.
They sure do.
We're not using no people. We're not putting any of our soldiers in harm's way. I'm just gonna fly down there and spray you in the face with some pepper spray, and then shoot you with a dart. And then I'll send the robot van over to pick your ass up and throw you in the back. Put some tie wraps on your hands. Put a bag over your head. Take you down to the FEMA camp.
Yeah. They're saying they're flying the Predators over the drones above LA this whole time. And those aren't just regular Predator drones. Those are the Project Argos drones we talked about before with the Skybowl with 1 million cameras that track the entire city for the entire time they're flying. Everything that moves, they could roll the camera back. I mean, come on, man. It's ridiculous to think that at any level, they couldn't just round up the agitators if they wanted to.
Now, what's the first thing would happen? If I was commanding a unit in charge of what was going on here, the first thing I would do would be knock out all your cell phones, every single one of them. Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T. I would knock all your shit out. Completely
jam the signal.
There is no,
just like J6 that happened.
There's no way they're gonna let you sit there with your video camera taking video of shit.
TikTok videoing the whole thing. Yeah.
Come on, man. It's just on the face of it, it's ridiculous.
So tomorrow there's supposed to be over 2,000 protests across the United States, and it's Armed Services Day.
Now there's veterans.
That's across the nation. And, those are probably permitted ones, because you got to get a permit to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Mexican consulate in Phoenix, he says anybody that is over here working, stay away from those protests.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
You can have a bunch of Karens with a bunch of other people with rainbow afro wigs and pussy hats.
Totally.
Yeah, let the freaks come out and do their thing, because that's what you're going to get,
Are people now? The thing is, man. So there's two things here. It's the protest part. That's one part, and then there's the actual shit that's going on that people should be pissed about. Okay, so listen. What's going on is people are getting fucking dragged out of their houses in the middle of the night with this shit, and they're upset about it, and they're scared. And I just imagine if look, man, I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying, imagine if it was you. Imagine if you were sitting at home. Fuck, man, you got to go to work tomorrow, and you're sitting there, and you're worried. You're literally a worry on your mind that someone's going to kick your fucking door in. And guess what? Your door may just get kicked in anyway because you might have said some shit on the internet. Now, Palantir, they got what you said. They saw what you said. And maybe you're going to get a visit, Rock and Rio. Were you able to try to figure that out over there?
Yeah, well, the problem is you can't connect because somebody's on there broadcasting right now. So I'm trying to get them off.
Hijacker.
Yeah, so
it's actually not hijacker.
Who's on there?
Kidding, of course. Yeah.
Who's on there? Go in the chat.
I don't know. Nobody seems to know. There's just somebody up there babbling. But they've got the server held, so I'm working on it.
All right. Well, go in the chat room over there and tell the motherfucker to get off of there.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm working on. I'm getting into Discord now. Hang
Just
on.
waiting for the moment where Jimmy doesn't show up. The first time I haven't shown up. And there's somebody over there fucking babbling to people expecting to hear our show. Like, it's fucked up, man.
Yeah, thinking it's us. Yeah. This show sucks. No, just kidding. Might be having a great conversation over there for all we know. You know the thing.
No, they're not.
I'm glad in a way that they're not there to hear what I'm about to say, because I don't want them to think that it's I'm not advocating. But the parade tomorrow might get rained out and have thunderstorms to cancel it, and I think that might be a good thing. You know, not just because of the way it looks for the United States and all that stuff, but because it's actually a dangerous time for Trump and his guys, right, to be out there during this time of unrest with a parade. Because the last time something like that happened, it was Anwar Sadat in 1981, and the people in that parade turned around and fired their weapons into the crowd, killing Sadat, right? I mean, if there's ever a time when something like that might happen, it'd be tomorrow. So God intervenes, man. Maybe it's a good thing that parade's getting canceled, potentially getting canceled. You know?
Yeah, that was during the peace talks too, when Sadat got shot.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The irony was him celebrating his victory over Israel, right? For the taking the Suez Canal. Yeah. And so he's out there, you know, watching the parade go by, the review, and the very, you know, armed vehicle with the guy in the grenades and RPG grenades and some other stuff, right? It just lobbed in and took him out. I mean, I could just imagine. Can you imagine the parade going by, and all of a sudden the tank or the Bradley turns its 20 millimeters, there's a Bradley over, and just like takes out the whole pavilion? You know, I mean, don't think it can't happen. There's a lot of pissed off Muslims in the armed forces. You know, there's a lot of pissed off just people. You know, there's a lot of people that just think that's their opportunity.
Chicago Brew says no one's over there babbling. I don't know, Rio. Chicago Brew says no one's babbling over there.
Oh, there's someone on there now. I'm listening to him.
Well, maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure, Chicago Brew. I'm not over there listening, but it's. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it anyways. We had already decided we couldn't get in, so.
Well, you couldn't get in because someone's holding the server.
Well, I know. We're just over here doing the show, though. So, you know, if somebody wants to be on there, they can be on there. Then, you know, there they are. We're over here, you know. We can get on, we will. You know, other than that, I don't know. We really don't know. Anyway, what were we saying?
Well, I forgot about that. I've been thinking about that before this actually was approved to be done. You know, like one of the reasons you don't want to have a big military parade, other than the fact that's what dictators do. You know, like before, what they do is they have those vehicles out there parked, and it's like a event. You know, you bring your family down there, let them get up on top of the tank and take pictures and stuff like that. You don't go driving down, you know, Washington D.C. It's like because you do an unorthodox thing. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's a pretty big too, you know.
Listen, man, this stuff just goes round and round and round, and just don't stop, and it won't stop until you scan your eyeball. Just get the eyeball scan and get it over with, man.
The drones, man, that's going to be it. Everywhere you go, drones will come down, and just like the Half-Life 2, right?
What I'm saying, why wouldn't they, especially in the times that we're living in right now, they'd want to like show the prowess of those drones. They'd want to show the prowess of our technology, wouldn't they? I mean, what about that company you just brought up? What was it? Infrawill? What was it? It was that one.
Andrill or whatever it's called. It's the Palmer Luckey company.
Exactly. What? Yeah, bring that up again. What tell me about those drones. When those have been perfect.
It's anti-drone technology too. Yeah, it's the guy who started the Oculus Rift, the VR company, Palmer Luckey, and that's his new venture, right? So it's sophisticated drone, anti-drone, specifically anti-drone now, and how it all incorporates it together in a mesh network. It's pretty trippy, man. You know, it's the way wars are going to be fought in the future. It really is. I mean, there's not going to be tanks anymore. All those tanks. This is literally true. The 31 M1 Abrams we sent to Ukraine are all gone. Most of the tanks that Russia used already in that war, they're all gone. They're back down to like their 1950s tanks now, sending them out there, trying to retrofit them, send them to the front because there's nothing left. These drones just go in and take them out, you know. And a $500 drone is taking out these $1 million tanks, or more than $1 million tanks. the case of Abrams, and the T-80s and stuff, T-90 tanks as well in Russia. And it's just not economically feasible. You can't win a war like that, right? But especially if you start making these things, it doesn't have to be the flying drones anymore, too. You got those dogs and things like that could be battle bots on the ground. And all of a sudden, it's literally like the drone wars from Star Wars,
Wouldn't
right?
this have been the perfect opportunity to pull up with a 30-foot truck and just roll up the back door and just have all this shit flying out, these different robots jumping out. Those ones that are over there dancing and all that, coming out with some machine guns and some flamethrowers, just taking people down. You know what I mean?
It's a parade. It's a parade. Can you imagine? Like they do that all. So the way this parade's going to work is it's going to go through all the different, because it's celebrating the Army's 250th as well, right? They're going to have the people in uniform from all the different eras, from Revolutionary War on up, and the different weapons they had with them from horseback all the way through the armed forces of today. Man. Wouldn't it be a great wrap up if the last parade that did the review was the robot one, the actual drone and robot one, like exactly what you're talking about, the dancing robots, the
drum major.
Yeah,
that would be that would actually be sick if they just came out with like a whole troop of robots. They were just out there
everything,
marching with
the dogs, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, self-driving trucks, self-driving vehicles. Drones, jets,
the mechs like battle mechs coming down there.
Why do you even need why do you even need people anymore in war?
You don't.
Fuck no, you don't. What do you need them for? So I mean, you got to make too many accommodations. You can go way faster without having to deal with people. You know what I mean?
They don't have any moral quandaries. They just obey the orders and the programming, hopefully, right? And the thing is, I mean, it also makes war much more likely. Because when humans are going to war, you have that reserve of empathy for the other side, and you have you don't want to kill people and all that stuff. And there's always that check, that balance that the human makes the decision whether to pull the trigger or not. But when all of a sudden you have these relatively inexpensive drones just going out there and doing your will, commanded by AI to program and kill everything that they see that meets a certain set of parameters, why wouldn't you do it, right? The people who have the biggest economy to boost it and support it are going to win.
Especially, listen. This is why I'm hammering this ID thing, because this ID thing, everything revolves around it. Because listen, the thing about it is, look, before facial recognition was like it is now, back in the day, before they had a bunch of facial recognition, what they had was, they had a bunch of faces that they knew, but there was a whole bunch of faces they didn't know. And it was a lot harder to find a face that you know in a sea of faces that you don't know. Okay? So once they start knowing all the faces, then when they don't know your face, you stick out. See? So the thing is they have to have this ID thing in America to know who's who, right? Now, there could be sneaky terrorist cells coming in here. Remember that show Jericho? Yeah, they had these white vans around different parts of the country and all set up. They didn't need missiles or cruise missiles or any of that noise. You know what I mean? Planes were dropping out of the sky in Jericho. Remember that? Planes just dropped out of the sky.
That's totally going to happen. And now we got Palantir, named after the Palantir stones in Lord of the Rings, that are these scry stones that can be corrupted by Sauron, right? The Eye of Sauron on everybody, right? That's what it is. That's the whole idea. That's why it's named that, right? Is that it can be used that way, right? Link everything together and have the Eye of Sauron, in this case, Peter Thiel and his group, or whoever else wants to control it or pay for it, right? Be able to do that to a whole population of people, identify it and track that will.
Man, I'm telling you right now, we're there. It's weird to be, doing shows, but all these years. No, I mean, over all these years, because we sat here and told people about this, about that, this and that, this and that. It's just weird to be at a place where most of it is, that we've reached the nexus point where a lot of what we've talked about in supposition over the years has materialized into a straight up, critical path method plan that's been taken into effect, and we are at the moment and on the precipice of this ID thing. Everything, if you look at the world financial situation right now, you can see that they are all. They just passed. Didn't they just pass the Genius Act or whatever, the stable coin bill, right? So now all of a sudden everybody's going to have a stable coin. What's a stable coin? Well, it's a coin that equals the same price as your dollar, but a stable coin is going to be like $1. You know what I mean? It's like when you go in a fucking casino and you take your $20 bill and you put it in there, and they give you 20 casino dollars. Yeah,
right.
It's like that. You get.
They don't give you coins anymore at the casino. If people don't know.
They keep the real money, and they give you some casino coins or whatever you can spend in there. You can't spend. Can you buy a loaf of bread with one of those casino coins?
Nope.
No.
So that's where, we talked about last week, Theo Vaughn, somebody like that. Okay. He's kind of like the hip, slick, and cool, goofy.
Holy shit. What happened? Oh, man. You know what it was? Is the call ended because it was it's almost the top of the hour. All right. Well, listen, I guess we'll get this figured out in a minute, because Rio's got to figure out, once he gets hooked up over there, then he's going to have to call me back, I think. I'm not sure what's going on now. I'll have to call these guys back in the meantime, but it's top of the hour anyway, so we'll be taking a break anywho. All right, my name's Jimmy. It's in the Microcosmos Ground Zero Plus. It's Revolution Radio, I think. And it's definitely YouTube and the Independent Broadcast Network. And we will continue on. We'll march forward without them for momentarily. And I will get everything
Hey everyone, big heads up.
Let me get it recapitulated, as it were. Hopefully Rio got the message and he'll call me back, and then we'll get the whole thing squared away.
Yeah, we can make it work. We can make it work every time. So we better get up, stand up for your rights. Or someone would say we're coming in from the cold. Or another one would say sun is shining and the weather is sweet. And someone would say, is this love? And everyone would say everything. Let's move it.
So now we see the light. What you we gonna stand up for?
on. This song has a little introduction to it. It ain't supposed to be sad, though you might feel it that way. It's a song about desperation. Every now and then we do get desperate. This is a song about L-O-V-E, and if you abuse it, you're gonna lose it, and if you lose it, you're gonna abuse it, and if you abuse it, you ain't gonna be able to choose it, because you ain't gonna have it further on down the line. Things ain't gonna be so fine. You're gonna be sitting there on your little machine, trying to look and keep it clean. You're gonna be playing bingo all night all alone. That's why you're sitting there by the telephone, and you know that she ain't going to call you. So you put on the TV and you're watching Johnny Carson segueing right into the Tomorrow Show, but that don't got to go, so you turn it off, you turn on the radio don't seem to get the click, so you say, hey man, I can't look at the split. You start to open up a little book and there's something there you got to overlook, and you say, baby, you know there's something on my mind. You say, baby, there's something on my mind. I know that you're home, and I know you ain't all alone. So you start walking over to a house. You get over to a house, you walk over to a door, you start pounding on the door. You say, open up the door, bitch, it's Woofa Goofa with the green teeth, let me in. Well, she opens up the door, and then you just kind of walk up to her and say, baby. You look up way up at her green mascara, and you say, oh, my darling. You know, her and me was at the party as friends. Do not believe what they say, that's only gossip that they're telling you down the wisecracker line. You say, darling. Take your big curls and just squeeze them down, Rotumba. What's the name of that chick with the long hair?
Rapunzel.
That's right. Hey, Rapunzel. Hey, Reputa. Reputa the beauty. Hey, Reputa the beauty. Clip me down your hair and let me climb up to the light of your love. Because this is Woofa Goofa saying to you. Love comes once, and when it comes, you better grab it fast, because sometimes the love you grab ain't gonna last, and I believe I must have. You know, I think I must have. You know, baby, I think I must have. You know, I think I must have. I must have got lost. Never thought about tomorrow. Seemed like a long time to come. How can I be so blind, baby, not to see what I want? I let you slip on from me, baby. I let you walk on by. To the love you had for me, I refuse to love, I let it die. Must have got lost. Must have got lost. Must have got lost somewhere down the line. Must have got lost. Must have got lost. Give away the days you were mine. Don't know why I let you leave me, honey. I don't know. Say it's hard to see loving coming, baby. Must have got lost. Must have got lost. Must have got lost somewhere down the line.
Are you there?
I am here.
All right, is this all hooked up?
It might be.
All right, well, I guess we'll find out. So I had those guys on a call already, and so I have to add them to this call now, because now you're connected to that.
Yep, I am connected. I'm connected to Discord. I'm trying to get confirmation that they're hearing the music and you.
All right.
Must have got lost. Must have got lost. Must have got lost somewhere down the line. Must have got lost. I got lost, girl. Give away the days you were mine. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. And I must have got lost. Must have got lost. Must have got lost somewhere down the line. Hey. Must have got lost, baby. I got lost, girl. Give away them days of mine. Must have got lost. I got lost. Must have got lost somewhere down the line. Must have
It's Friday night. It's into the microcosm. It's hour number 2.
You can't imagine just how I feel. We talked it all over. I say, what's the deal? Oh, I thought you were my friend, but you don't even know how I feel. Well, I just can't live like this, and I'm sure none of this can be real.
All right, Rock and Rio, what's the word, my friend?
We are connected.
Have we crossed the bridge over troubled waters? Made our way gently into the... Are these guys on the call too?
I think it's just you and me, but I will add them.
All right, there we go. Rock and Rio has made it happen. Thanks, Chicago Brew, for keeping us in the know over here on the chat. There's inches everywhere.
I'm telling you.
There goes Pat Travers. That's a good record, man. Heat in the Street. Boom. It's always a good record to listen to in the summertime. Heat in the Street. All right, listen. We are going to be rolling up deep up in here in about 30 minutes. We have not touched upon... We've barely touched upon it. We've been saving ourselves for the last bit of show to talk about this Iranian situation we got going on here. But here, in the meantime, what we were talking about was the ridiculousness of the idea of someone who's here trying to hide out and make some money or whatever. They're not going to go down and make a spectacle of themselves running around with giant Mexican flags.
No, they're not.
No. Okay, and also we also pointed out, in case you weren't here, Revolution Radio wasn't here, we also pointed out that anywhere you go in one of these protests, you need to really understand that everyone's cell phone is immediately tracked and traced. So, and there's no real such thing as a burner phone unless you paid cash. I mean, most people just think buying it at Walmart, no one will know. But they don't pay cash. So, I mean, even that, if you didn't pay cash, you got an issue. So, I don't know. Maybe if you did show up down there and you're afraid somebody's going to come get you, FedEx your phone somewhere.
Yeah, don't have your phone with you.
Just FedEx it somewhere so it looks like you left the country. FedEx it out of the country or something.
Yeah, leave it under the seat of the movie theater. Right, exactly.
Anyways.
The travel by. Oh, let's watch Dune 2 for the third time.
Stay home tomorrow. Listen, man, I'll tell you one thing we've pointed out on this show, and we'll point it out again since we've reached this, round and round situation. If they don't want you to protest about something, if the system doesn't want people to protest, they don't show it on TV, and they don't talk about it because they don't want to spur you sitting there stuffing, Chiefs puffs in your head and, drinking something. They don't want you getting up off the couch and heading down somewhere, making a bunch of racket about an issue. Okay, they want you to stay right where you are. So I mean, remember, listen, I'll call your attention back to the Bush administration. Let me tell you something, man. Leading up to the Iraq War, there was a lot of anti-war protesting going on. Okay? They didn't show it on TV. Remember that? What was that lady's name that camped out at Homeboy's ranch? Cindy Sheehan.
Yeah. She lost her son in the war. Yep.
Yeah, she ran against Nancy Pelosi. Her windows got bashed in, and they set fire to her to her campaign headquarters.
She would start the Common Sense Party.
Yeah, well, common sense would dictate when your window gets bashed in and your place that gets set on fire. It's time for you to think about doing something else. You don't want to end up like
Remember
Malcolm
the Seattle
X.
protests for the the whole globalization, anti-globalization thing, and they shut that down too. Yeah, WTO. I mean that was it was news for a day, and they shut that down. They shut all that coverage down. There were guys camped there for weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, they busted up a Starbucks. You can't have that.
No, can't bust up Starbucks, man. You got that mystical goddess. It's got to be there. It's got to line up a certain way. You got to have the tower, right? The tower's yeah. There's a whole geomancy thing, related to that, like the needles, the phallus, right? And the fountains, and then domes for the breasts and stuff.
Matt in the chat says they're throwing Molotov cocktails and burning shit down. You talking about this thing that's going on in LA, Matt? Because that's only going on in like a 5-block area. They may be throwing Molotov cocktails and shit, but there's really everything there. It's that area is like a shithole. So yeah, it's perfect for burning shit down and throwing Molotov cocktails because nothing of value is gonna get hurt by it.
It's all marble and
it's as to say, yeah,
old buildings.
Yeah, almost fireproof, right? Marble and brick and stuff. Yeah, mortar. Yeah, it's not burning down.
You gotta burn you gotta burn a few cars and this and that. I mean, it's for the effect. You know what I mean? I'm not a protester. I'm not down there protesting. You know what I mean? I'm not compelled by this issue to protest. I mean, I know a lot of people. I've met a lot of people in my life. I don't know about you guys, but I've come in contact with a lot of people, and I do on a regular basis just because of the nature of what I do. I come in contact with people. And I never once have come in contact with somebody and in the back of my mind when I'm shaking the dude's hand that I don't know, I'm not like behind my eyes wondering, is this dude a citizen or not?
No.
I can't tell if this guy's a citizen or not. It's
the
never
most interesting guy in the world's getting arrested right now.
I'm just saying,
he was up in that Space City. He landed down there. He was doing his thing with Dos Equis, and now he's over there detained by ICE.
I'm just saying,
Not
man,
but it could be that way, right?
When you come into contact with people on a regular basis in your life and you're looking across there at some dude running the cash register or cooking your burger or fucking throwing your pizza or whatever he's doing, are you at any given minute, what kind of American are you? I got that clip. Exactly. What kind of American are you? Good one, man.
I'm kind of proud of San Diego, man. When they first pulled that stuff that they tried in LA and they did in LA, they tried it in San Diego at a couple of restaurants down there where people were dining, regular people. I know the area pretty well. And they chased them out of there. The people chased them out of there. Get the hell out of here, man. What the hell are you doing? The neighborhood. All the people just came out and said, get the F out of here, man.
Get out of here, I know. It's not
the
same.
I don't know why they didn't do that in Los Angeles because they were downtown in the shithole, like you said. There's nobody down there, man. Nobody hangs out downtown except for bums and stuff, right?
And
Skid Row. Yeah,
God,
yeah, they ain't in Skid Row.
Yeah, well,
they stay away from Skid Row. Shit.
Yeah, it's like Mad Max, man, in downtown.
It is Mad Max down there.
It is
40,000 people or more living down there. Yeah.
No, it's out of control, man. It's a combination of Mad Max and They Live.
Yeah,
They Live,
Omega
Max.
Man.
That should be a new movie. They Live, Max. You know what I mean? It's like a combination of Mad Max and They Live.
And end it with Omega. Yeah, there you go. They Live, Max, Omega. I like it.
They Live, Max, the Omega Man 2. You know what I mean? what's going to happen next? Look, what did we say last week? Boom. As soon as that whole scandal came up, what did we say? Because what happened? Oh, there was some fake fight between Trump and Netanyahu, but now all of a sudden, Trump knew the whole. I knew the whole time. Really, dude? Wow. I mean, that's pretty intense when you say.
Part of the deal.
What's it going to be now? See, we're coming up. We got 15 minutes left, man. I want to get into this, but I just feel like we should just wait until we have everybody here. Is everybody in?
Yeah, that's the biggest story. I mean, because honestly, as big as they try to make the protesting, it's not really that big of a story when you break it down. I mean, there's not that many people there, man. The bigger story is how it's being played, right, and being broadcast. But the actual protest tomorrow will be a big deal because there's going to be millions of people protesting tomorrow.
Look at it took 30 seconds for people to start saying it's a civil war. It's a civil war.
100 people downtown. I mean, come on, man.
I'm saying everybody.
They burned a Wago car.
The alternative media, it's like people were polishing their AR-15s, man. You know what I mean? It's fucking civil war. It's here.
They don't know LA is a problem, right? They think that, like you said, LA is gigantic, man.
Well,
like when it was going on, there was people that lived in LA saying, I don't see anything going on. They had no idea.
See,
they wouldn't even know about it.
What's funny about it is that they're on the bullhorns of a dilemma because all this time they thought they'd be fighting against the government. But in this case, they would have to be fighting for the government, which is really interesting. I mean, just from a, bullhorns of a dilemma kind of perspective. It's in the microcosm. We ask questions. That's what we do around here. We're asking a question. We're saying, does it make any sense? Like, I'm just saying, if you're trying to fly under the radar, why would you be running around making a spectacle of yourself? Wouldn't you be like, over there just quietly eating in the corner, just keeping your mouth shut? Because
people whose dad got arrested in front of them or whatever, that's one thing. Maybe they'd show up, right? People who, like that kind of thing. But that's not who these people were. Like I said, there's a Palestinian girl, supposedly. There's two guys with an Israeli flag. There's all these people with giant Mexican flags, like Julio Chavez is making a comeback and fight next week or something. I mean, what the hell, man? Nobody does that, So,
nah.
I mean, just for people who are familiar with LA, right? That's not a thing. It really isn't. I'm a San Diego guy. We kind of hate LA, but we're still Californians, man. I mean, I'm a Hawaiian guy now, but I have a lot of roots there. Sons of the California.
SoCal.
Yeah,
SoCal.
It is out of control, man.
In the meantime, Silicon Valley tech execs are joining the U.S. Army Reserve from companies including Palantir, Meta, OpenAI, are taking part-time roles in the U.S. Army Reserve.
You're going to leave one of those memory sticks laying around in the bathroom, brand new, and still in the package.
Right. With all the code to download the Palantir software when you put it in your drive.
That's what they did. That's what they did at that nuclear facility over in Iran.
That's how they got the Iranians. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. They used.
And it went. Didn't I forget? I forget the company whose equipment it affected. If it was GE, it was the Stuxnet virus. Was the virus?
Yeah, it sped up the centrifuges and messed them up.
Yeah. And well, the centrifuges are really messed up now, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah. I don't think they're spinning anymore, most of them.
No.
Yeah.
No. All right, listen. So we're getting ready to take aim at this whole situation. Rockario, are we still live over at the Rev Radio?
I believe all is good.
All right. So what's going to happen now? In an hour, is this call going to disconnect? And when it does, are you just going to reconnect us all?
Yeah.
It's like we won't sweat you. You'll call us. It's each individually.
Right.
Okay. So I'm not going to think about it again, so I don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? Because it hangs over me like an axe. Makes me want to ask more questions about what the fuck's going on. I know what's going on around here, man.
You for it, man. So
Listen, how big is LA, dude? People don't realize. people don't realize
500 square miles for the city. The city is 500 square miles. Yeah,
And
it's
the
like
county
900
is
some
even
odd
bigger.
county. Yeah.
and the county.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you right now. When you are in Los Angeles proper, okay, the roads and all that, it's a shithole. There's potholes. It's all fucked up. The minute you go from L.A. into Orange County, the Republican-held territory in Southern California, where all the big people are, where all the money's at, down in Orange County, yeah. As soon as you go across that county line, man, the roads get smooth, don't they, Cac?
Smooth as a baby's butt.
There ain't no messing around down there, is there? Was there any protest down there in Orange County?
I mean, no. The only protest is maybe grad night at Disneyland.
Well,
somebody took some acid and they go to Disney jail.
Pasadena neighbors, yeah, they're pissed off at the who's got the
say Long Beach is down in
best
Orange County.
Somebody grabbed Tinkerbell or something.
Long Beach is in Orange County. Were they
on the border?
Were they getting
on
all?
The border.
Were they all getting all? Were they getting all upset down in
Long Beach? That's another story. Yeah, Long Beach gets a little.
Rough,
it's
yeah.
a little. Yeah.
You got a lot of dock workers down there. Hey, there's a lot of migrants working there here. I don't see the ICE agents rounding those guys up, do I? I wonder why.
Here's another thing I'm telling you right now. People don't realize. I mean, maybe they do, but street gangs. It ain't like dudes with switchblades down with leather jackets in the alley. I mean,
it's not the Jets, yeah.
No, street gangs, modern street gangs today are like armies. They're strapped, man. They got every kind of weapon there is that money can buy. Every kind of technology. They got people going to school, learning how to do technology. I mean, they're paying people to go. I mean, it's no fun, It's
they're hackers. They're they got souped up cars with chips in the engines.
And
Fast and Furious.
And they also joined the military.
Yeah, they got skills.
They used to see the thing is there was a thing back, and this is the old school shit though. This is old days. This is like old OG shit. Okay, so back in the old days, it wasn't easy to get into the military if you had certain tattoos. Correct me if I'm wrong. As a journeyman, now when you join the military, if you already have tattoos, didn't they used to give you a hard time about it? Because there's certain tattoos that, people that are in organized crime may have a certain tattoo that signifies to other people that they're in the same clique or whatever. So, but the point being is all of a sudden there's these guys over there, say in the reserves, learning how to use all the technology that we have in the modern military. Maybe they're even have buddies that are in logistics, that they drop a couple cartons of night vision goggles out the back of the truck or whatever.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's no different than having Anthony Gonzalez or whatever on your football team, right? That was named the guy who was a murdering gang member from the Patriots, right? The tight end. I might have the wrong Gonzalez, but yeah, no, I'm sorry, not Gonzalez. Aaron Hernandez, right? Yeah, well, I mean, come on, man. That guy played for years, right? And they knew he was a gang member when they brought him in from Florida. When they actually drafted him. Sorry about Gonzalez. I'm confused with Tony Gonzalez, who's a great football player and a good guy, right? No, Aaron Hernandez. And that guy ended up committing suicide in jail, supposedly. But, yeah, he killed numerous people while he was a football player. That's no different than some of these people. If that's happening in the NFL, imagine how many people in the military right now are in the Marines, or in the Army, or in the Air Force right now, right? Mm-hmm. Having a couple things fall off the truck or whatever. That's why I said earlier, the idea of this parade getting potentially canceled for thunderstorms might be a good thing overall. Might be the luckiest thing that ever happened to the president and his group there, his entourage, because I'd be pretty concerned that there's a Anwar Sadat kind of thing, very possible, because why wouldn't there be? It's a perfect opportunity for people of that ilk, They have the weapon right there,
Mm-hmm.
Or how about this? Concurrent exercises going on.
Always. It always seems to happen, doesn't it?
During false flags and all that stuff. Yeah.
It's all too much, man.
No, that's very possible. That seems to happen way too often, doesn't it? Well, we're doing this parade or this exercise, but and then all of a sudden this real crime broke loose. I mean, that was the thing that happened that we can't even mention the name. That school in Connecticut is there was actually a shooter exercise going on with the FBI that day, right there. Yeah. Right there. Just like in 9/11, they were doing that exercise about hijacking airplanes that day, right?
That's right. Well, speaking of 9/11,
Able Danger, I think it was called, right?
Speaking of 9/11, you don't want to get drug into somebody else's conflict by all of a sudden having something happen on the homeland. I hope Homeland Security has really got their feelers out, because I'm sure it's getting more and more dangerous to be an American.
Well, it's really dangerous for for Trump, for Michael Bolton, not Michael Bolton, that's the guy. Bolton.
Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton.
You're killing these guys.
I'm mixing up names.
Michael Bolton's
the
got
former
the best
security.
hair. Now, come on.
He's got the best hair, right? Not that Bolton. Yeah, the former security advisor and what's his face, the ex-CIA director.
Soul, man.
The Secretary of State. Those guys all have a follow on them from Iran. That didn't go away. And now they're at war with Israel, and by extension, at war with us, right? Still, so it's a more dangerous time than perhaps ever been for all those people, right?
Well,
so
I'm going to bring something up in the next hour, because there was a movie that came out that had a pretty interesting storyline.
John Bolton.
And I'm going to bring it to the table here in a minute.
I'm still cracking up on Michael Bolton. Sorry.
Yeah. But we got a couple minutes here before we're about to join Ground
This
Zero
is a
Plus.
neocon's wet dream. This is where you can try out all your dirty tricks, and it goes under the radar because we got this other stuff grabbing the attention. And again, before we drop the call, guys like Theo Vaughn, they're just trying to normalize the tech bros, and it's like, hey, it's no big deal. They just got all these advanced skills, and it's just for our own good, and it's just for safety, precaution, and stuff like that. And next thing you know,
man, it's the same people calling for a civil war that are going to be the ones running down there to get their eyeball scanned. You got to make sure you're
totally.
an American. If you
get your world coin.
Listen, if you don't scan your eyeball, you're not an American. You're not an American. If you're not willing to scan your eyeball, then you need to get GTFO, man. That's what it's going to be.
You're one of the wildings. You're one of the wildings out there that has to go live out in the brush, right? And barter, for mangoes here in Hawaii, or for strawberries, stolen strawberries from the fields in California or something. Yeah. Looking out for the gorillas on the horseback. Coming around you. Yeah.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now, I live on the Central Coast, and I drive from here to there, and I see people outside, and they're doing work down these fields.
Oh, yeah.
Bending over at the waist, man, all day long, and wearing rags over their heads because the dust blows, because the wind blows off the coast. Let me tell you something, man. You don't want to be down here picking artichokes, do you? I mean, if you want some artichokes, somebody's got to pick them. I mean, if you ain't coming down here to pick them.
You don't pick pineapples either, man.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to say that's the only thing available, but I am saying there's a certain group of people that migrate around when crops come available so they can help out, and make some money. And so people do that.
Backbreaking work. Yeah.
So,
yeah, it is.
Robots should do that work. So that's the work the robots should do right there. Right? They don't get tired. Just replace a couple O-rings every couple months and you're good to go.
But they'll mangle the crop though. That's why they don't do it like that.
No mangoes, damn it.
The cotton gin, that's one thing. But
Jeremy says for 30 he'd pick it. Well, here's the thing. I just saw a thing. You guys can check this on Google. They just passed a thing down in LA for hotel workers making $35 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
That's $35 an hour. Be a hotel worker.
Yeah,
Jeremy, you don't even have to.
Union hotel workers. Yep.
Yeah, you don't even have to. All right, listen, we're going into the situation. All right.
We have a situation here.
We are. So you guys just stand by. Rock and Rio. We're about to exit stage left.
I'm not swinging any consequences. I do what I have to do just to get on by. There's no sex appeal and guilt nor anger. Ain't it enough to provide economic casualties? My blue-blooded creeps. Hand in hand we walk together along Slaughter Beach. Maritime tragedies. You blue-blooded freaks. Hand in hand we walk together along Slaughter Beach.
We're hot.
Not betting on wild horses like they do in acetate or Pimlico. I demand to shut my clam the old-fashioned way under a strawberry moon, bare-handed, wearing no clothes. Economic casualties. My blue-blooded creeps.
They destroyed the world. They destroyed the world. They destroyed the world.
The entire Los Angeles area. Already hospital facilities have begun.
We've got 32 targets on track and 10 impacting points. I want to confirm, is this an exercise? Roger, copy. This is not an exercise.
Roger, understand. Major Reinhardt, we have a massive attack against the U.S. net at this time. ICBMs. Numerous ICBMs. Roger, understand. Over 300 missiles inbound now.
Hey!
I'm hearing some echo.
You hear an echo?
I am.
How about now?
Let me see. No. And so here we are, Ground Zero Plus. My name's Jimmy. It's in the microcosm. We are into the show, and we have been talking about the stage production going down in Los Angeles. And welcome, Ground Zero Plus. Happy to have you here. Clyde Lewis has been hitting him out of the park all week, and I was tempted to call in a couple of times, and I didn't. I wish I would have, but I didn't. So, but here we are tonight. And since those shows, well, obviously some things have gone down. We're sitting here with CAC, Epic Journeyman, Rock and Rio, and now you're here. So we appreciate you. So Matt is saying there's issues with the sound over on Ground Zero Plus. I don't really know. I'm not listening to Ground Zero Plus. I'm over here broadcasting. So maybe you guys should check that out. If there's something in fact going on, let me know. We'll go from there. But in the meantime, so okay, so we've been hearing about it, and we've been hearing about it for years and 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 years. Finally, it's now happened. There's been a bombing in Iran. Are you guys here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Ground Zero, loud and clear too. So.
Okay, good. Well, listen. So the point is that clearly there's stuff going on, and the point being is that now everyone is expecting this retaliation point. Now, what's gone on? As any new destruction come across the wire? Have we heard anything new? Because the last thing I saw was hypersonic missiles were heading into Israel and hit this particular headquarters. Have you guys heard any news, or has any information come across the wire since we've been on the air tonight?
I haven't seen any yet. I've just been on the show and checked a couple internet things, but nothing major from Reuters yet that I saw.
No. All right. Well, listen. I'm starting to, because there was an original retaliation that happened. There was some 800 some odd missiles that were fired, and none of them seemed to have hit their target. Did you hear about anything hitting their targets?
I heard about one in Tel Aviv. Yeah, one ballistic missile
out of 800.
Well, I said 200 ballistic missiles. They had drones too. None of the drones made it, supposedly, and one ballistic missile made it. Last I heard, there's 40 people injured, and no deaths in Tel Aviv.
All right. Well, so what that did is it made me think of this movie that came out. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what year it was that it came out. Hang on, I can take a look. But the movie was called Deterrence. Now, the premise of the movie has to do with Iraq, okay, and not Iran. But the concept that's put forward in the movie is interesting to me because let me tell you about the movie. So the movie is old, so it's like 2008 is what they're saying on here. But I seem to remember it being even older than that. But in any event, the bottom line is the setup of the movie. The president of the United States is going somewhere. He gets caught in a snowstorm, and he gets stuck inside of a bar in Colorado during a snowstorm. And so there's a lot of tension going on internationally, especially with at this point there was no Saddam Hussein. That's why this movie is way older than 2008. I'm telling you right now, because he was talking about Saddam Hussein's sons in this movie, and that they were the ones that were instigating some bullshit going on around drilling for oil sideways and all this.
I was at the base they were at, by the way, Uday and Qusay, the one where they got shot and had the shootout.
Yeah,
that was where I was stationed over in Iraq. They had the Darth Vader, what do you call it, thing they put the people in, the Iron Maiden, and they had his Ferrari out front and everything. Yeah, that was the place I was.
So the premise of this movie is this whole thing develops into a nuclear confrontation between Iraq and America, and because these Saddam Hussein's sons had acquired nuclear weapons, and so there's a tense moment where the American president has to make a decision about pushing the button, and he does push the button. And I'm going to join this conversation here. This is a clip from the movie. The movie's called Deterrence. All right, so here's a clip, just a couple minutes of this. I want you to take a listen to this, because this premise of why this president hit the button is why I'm bringing it to the table. It's in the microphone.
Initiated and completed in less than an hour and a half is very limiting.
Let's be clear. If we attack, and it's going to be major.
There's going to be nothing left. No rebuilding, no aid, nothing.
You must meet our terms unconditionally in just under 40 minutes.
Now here, send the B-2. We're going to let her fly. We're going to let him fly.
That's illegal.
Am I missing something?
You dropped that bomb, you got my vote and the vote of every real American.
Nuclear warfare is not about gambling. It's about certainty. Strategic certainty. Moral certainty.
Do I seem uncertain to you?
I have 4 minutes to acquire those codes. What I need is for you to set aside your personal feelings and do your job.
This is the bomber that our sources in the Pentagon are telling us will be used to carry and drop nuclear weapons.
This is the president.
Mr. President, understand this. We have the power. We have the oil.
I have the match.
We're trying to follow events across the globe as efficiently as possible.
there goes Deterrence. All right.
We didn't hear it.
Well, we heard it on YouTube. We heard it on Ground Zero Plus. So listen, the bottom line is what goes on in this movie is Saddam Hussein's sons thought he had nuclear capabilities, but the reality of the situation was that America, in conjunction with France, sold fake bombs to Baghdad, and they sold a teraflop computer that went along with them to prove that they were working nuclear weapons, but they weren't. And so when they launched their non-working nuclear weapons out of America, that gave the president open license to turn that shit into a glass parking lot, which he did, because he could say, well, they shot their weapons at us first, which they did, but they didn't work. And so this premise of this movie always, as far as Iran or some of these countries is concerned, is always on my mind. Now, what do you guys think about that?
Well,
because
I can tell
you can't openly test. In other words, let's say I'm a country and I'm developing nuclear weapons. How do I openly test my bomb to make sure it blows up like all the tests we saw?
You can't waste your limited amount of nukes, right? That way, if you're a country like that, everyone counts, right? I could tell you from being there that at Saddam's palace, at Baghdad International Airport, just the big one there, Camp Victory. They had it's a bridge, and it has a big pond there and stuff. Bridges there was blown up, but inside the palace was fine. He went inside there and had all his chambers, like chairs, the red velvet stuff. It had his throne, a literal throne there, and behind him was this mural, and the mural was like, gosh, got to be 60, 70 feet tall, maybe bigger than that behind him, and it was hundreds of feet wide, behind his throne. And painted on that mural were all these missiles, ballistic missiles going through the clouds with the Iraqi flag on them. Like, dozens of these missiles.
Yeah.
So he really did have that as like that was the thing he wanted. It really was.
Well,
like that was painted on the wall.
Amber sent me a message, said that movie's from the year 2000. And that would make sense because back then when he was talking about it before the Iraq War, really. So, anyways, the premise being that you can't test.
All right.
Oh, go ahead, Kak.
Yeah, you got to consider rules of engagement and protocols, and the Ukraine, right? They had like that successful attack on Russian nuclear aircraft, right? The bombers. And but the reason that the bombers were out and exposed was due to a nuclear treaty, that all nuclear bombers have to be in view so the other nations can monitor it. Point being is that everybody's looking at each other. It's mutually assured destruction, right? It's that protocol. So everybody's got to know exactly where everybody else's shit is. That's why Missiles of October in Cuba was, wasn't communicated directly to Kennedy from Khrushchev, but after that they worked it out. So,
yeah, it's SALT II treaty that you have to have the nuclear triad. You don't have to have the submarines exposed. You don't have to have the ground-based missiles exposed, but the bombers you do. Yeah, they're supposed to be verified.
Well,
they can move them around. But
so I want to call attention back to last week when we talked about this feud between Elon Musk and Trump and the Epstein files being brought up once again, and we talked about here comes Iran, because there's some sort of tie-in between certain covert organizations working for Israel that may or may not have access to some of these files, and it seems like when certain people talk, then other people got to listen and do what they're told, So I don't know, man. I can't tell what's going on only because it's all happening all at once now, right? So we talked about how could there be peace in Ukraine if the future enemy is going to be Iran, who's also tied to Russia, you couldn't go to the table in peace talks with Russia and Ukraine when you know that you're going to be fighting in Iraq and Iran.
Yeah, yeah.
See,
they're all proxies. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And those talks were just BS. Nothing's going to happen with those talks because Action Jackson took over.
Well, I think there was a statement that was made is you better come to table now or there'll be nothing left or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering. I mean, listen, I'm telling you right now. If all it would take is just to clog up the Straits of Hormuz with a bunch of dead floating ships, and that'd be the end of everything. Oil would be $500 a barrel. It'd be $25 a gallon for gasoline. It would shut America down.
Well, that's probably the plan, because if you think about it, that strategic partnership that Russia signed with Iran, North Korea, and China. Last was Iran in January of this year. I mean, that's the thing. So, we think about 2 days ago, they moved the production of the Shahed drones that Iran had been supplying to Russia to North Korea. I mean, think about that. Like, they knew already this was going to happen. And this actually benefits Russia in the war against Ukraine and against Europe, because by having a war with Iran and blocking the Strait of Hormuz, and oil going up that much, then that oil that Russia sells, which is the basis of their entire economy, it goes through the roof, right? And it finances their war. I mean, it's actually, if you think about it, it's kind of brilliant, right? You take the hits, Iran, we'll protect you in the long run, but we let oil go up to $200 a barrel, and it's going to finance our nation, our war effort, and everything else.
Well, and it's good for Russia when oil goes up.
Yeah, exactly. Extremely good for Russia when it goes up.
And the other thing is, now I've been hearing about the dollar's too strong. The dollar's too strong. There's a strong dollar. It makes the economy weaker. That's what I've been hearing. Because foreign money doesn't come in because of a strong dollar. They want a weak dollar. So now all of a sudden,
it's expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So now they want a weak dollar. So they, what happens when you got a weak dollar? Well, a weak dollar means the price of metal is going to go up. Now, if you're looking at gold and silver recently, silver has busted up over $36 and it held there. When silver starts getting up to be around, if silver was ever to just jump right now from $26 up to $50, it would be a bank killer.
Yeah, and it's been manipulated for years too. I mean, the actual price of silver is way higher, but it's been suppressed by J.P. Morgan.
Right. So it's supposed to be 16 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold.
Mm-hmm.
Was the old formula, but now it's out of whack. And like I say, to see it go up over 36 and then stay there. That people are starting to get nervous because there's a lot of paper futures and stuff out there that can cause a whole lot of mayhem. And now we're coming up in July 1st with Basel III coming into effect, and gold is what's on everybody's mind. And what's the price of gold right now? I think it was getting to be $3,400. I think something like that. Almost 30. Maybe it's the 35 by now. Who the hell knows? I know this is coming up to the top of the hour. Rock and Rio, are you there? So now you're not hearing anything. And so the thing is before, earlier when you weren't on the call, Cat could hear everything, and so could Epic Journeyman. So there may be some thing that's keeping you from hearing it. Some setting that you might not know about over there. Who knows? I can't tell. But we are coming up.
Sold for 3,200. But yeah, I could hear you before. But our call is going to be done in about 3 minutes.
This call?
Well, no.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, 4:55 after the hour. That's usually when it goes out.
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I do know this though, man. I got my finger on the button.
I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it.
I got my finger on the button. All right.
A lot of finger on the button talk going around these days.
I know. So now
you got to think of George C. Scott. You know, if we get him with all we got right now, we could get him.
Yeah. You ever seen a B-52 flying in? Oh, it's a sight flying in low. Yeah. Yeah.
It's all too much, man. Really, it is.
Man.
It is
Dr. Strange, though, for those who don't know the reference.
It has reached a level of unbelievability at this point. There's so much going on at any given. I mean, literally, wouldn't you be expecting some sort of a cyber attack at this point? Because I thought it was really interesting yesterday, right before this attack happened, the down detector was read for about 30 different things. Google, Spotify, a whole bunch of really big companies.
Yeah, AT&T and Verizon were down too.
Mm-hmm. So it was interesting, like right before that attack happened, the internet sort of went down for a lot of people. So I thought that was interesting. And, let's face it. I mean, wasn't there a whole program where they built a whole internet that had nothing to do with any Chinese imports because they had determined that they potentially were making equipment that had other electronics in it that made those pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
So I forget who it might have even been. Was it Podesta? It was somebody. I can't remember who put this together, but there's a whole other internet that's sitting there just in case something like this happens. And at this point, how hard would it be to fly a drone and throw down with an electromagnetic pulse with some kind of drone?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Yep.
Seriously, could you just
knock it out?
Yeah, could you just not swoop in and poof?
So imagine all this stuff goes down for 3 days, right? That's all it's going to take. 3 days, 72 hours, everything's down. When it launches back up with HTTP 6 or 7 or whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's new internet. Everybody gets back online. You can make up the entire system of the world, the news, you could lay the template of how you want the world to appear to everyone. And nobody can deny it, really, unless they're right there in that place, because they could say all the stuff happened in those 3 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no lifetime verification of any of it. Exactly. By the time people go back and try to verify it, they've moved on to so many other things that we're also distracted that they've done an actual reset, right?
Yeah,
Right,
well, you can double back forward with a Venus flytrap.
If you were in an operational warfare class, the first thing they would teach you to do if you came into an area is what? Knock out communications. Boom.
Yep.
Every single TV station goes off the air. Every single radio station goes off the air. And the only thing that comes back on the air is you broadcasting in a friendly language that's spoken in the country that you're in, telling people to come on down and get their eyeballs scanned immediately before it's too late.
Get bread and water. Yeah. And some supplies.
We're handing out the gray jumpsuits. All you got to do...
Exposure suits, yeah, you got to keep it dry. Dry and safe and warm because all the power's out for 3 days too.
Exactamundo. All right, well, it looks like we got. What's that, Cap?
Or the Joker.
Now, Rock and Rio. Now, is there going to be noise coming in from your end when this?
No, there shouldn't be
when
no
this
noise.
break happens.
No.
All right. Well, so we'll hit the top of the hour. We'll take a few minutes. Everybody grab something to drink. We'll come back. We'll see if we can open up the Zoom line and see if we can get people's thoughts on some of what's going on around here. Because listen, I mean, doesn't this have biblical implications? Seriously, I mean, there's all
this.
This.
It does.
Yeah, we can talk
I've been saying it for years, right?
I know. Well,
we're the red heifers.
They're coming too.
Serving up the red heifer right here on Ground Zero Plus. Don't forget, we're fully listener supported. Come on down. Tell them Into the Microcosm sent you. When you stop on by and support everybody down here, free speech is so important. And it's nice to have a platform like Revolution Radio and Ground Zero Plus and Independent Broadcast Network and YouTube for now. mean, YouTube's, there they are. I got a beef being sandbagged, but that's all right. You know what's funny? Is I got a message from YouTube saying, congratulations, you reached 250,000 views on your on your channel. And then one of the listeners searched the channel, and it said I had 146,000 views on my channel. So what's the deal, man? You're telling me Google, the source is telling me I got 250,000 views on this channel, and then when you search it, it says I only have 146,000. And then what about the 550,000 on the channel that they deleted? I mean, I don't know. It's top of the time. It's time for us to go to break. Ground Zero Plus. Mine's Jimmy. It's in the microcosm. We'll be right back.
Well, me, and I'm holding out, feel alright. I got a killer's instinct that's smashing me through the night. And I'm me, if I said that I might be around. I come cruising up slow, about 2 feet off the ground. Stand about 10 feet tall. It's my killer's instinct, it's gonna be your downfall. And I'm gonna leave it up. Oh no, I don't wanna give it up. Right now, that's got me struggling. I got never ended with the dream. I'll just stay a step ahead of you, so you'll never catch me.
The darker the sky, the light of the moon, the solitary figure will be home very soon. He has braved the storms of time, his life is on the line. He's been praying to a savior, please take me away from here. The man in the ship has a lot to fear. He hasn't seen home in almost a When darkness falls, he goes by the stars, getting directions from Jupiter and Mars. It was he who created this life. He is fighting for his life. He is longing to see his wife and his family.
Friday night, hour number 3. This is Ground Zero Plus. Mom's Jimmy. Cinema Microcosm. Revolution Radio. It's Independent Broadcasting Network.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning as the rain begins to fall. But I know what I needed, but I don't have it all. I'm needing someone like you. I just wanna do love too. Baby, baby, I need you tonight. Outside my window.
All right then. There goes ZZ Top. Rockin' Rio, are you there? Have we returneth?
I am here.
Excellent.
Everyone is here.
Excellent. That was painless. But then again, if you're not there, then what happens? It all falls apart without Rockin' Rio, ladies and gentlemen.
Done.
He is the cog. Are you the cog in the wheel? What is the
might
cog?
be.
What is the cog?
A cog.
It's the,
It's a gear.
it's the centerpiece, right?
It's a gear.
Continuity of government.
Rockin' Rio's the cog in the wheel. All right, so we're back.
Oxwell Cogs.
Yeah, so we're back. Yeah, Boswell Cogs. We're back, and Cax here, Rockin' Rio's here, Epic Journeyman's here, I'm here, it's Ground Zero Plus, you're here, Revolution Radio.
S90's here too.
Oh, is S90 here? Right on, S90.
Yeah,
Jump on in here now, S90. We're talking about this incursion into the space of Persians. Now, isn't this really where the Aryans started out? Isn't the early Persian where the Aryans came from? Isn't it?
I mean, if you believe what would appear to be kind of a pre-planted Jesuit kind of Judeo-Christian British Israel sort of, it's like if you create a story 100 years in the, like you have someone make a fake rock or a fake story, and then you come back to claim that story later to legitimize yourself. There's plenty of examples of the Masons doing it with things like the Bat Creek Stone and the Thor Stone and all these other things. So I don't put a lot of stock in kind of these Jesuit contrived Indo-Aryan conspiracies.
Well,
I don't know.
It's
It's only got
right.
It's
Zoroastrianism started there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you've got
and there's
the assassons too. The Nisraeli.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Is there a connection between the original beginnings of the Roman Catholic Church with the Farinini? Can't think of the name of the family. It begins with an F. It's like Farinini or something. But there's people that say that they were originally from this Persian line through Turkey into the Catholic Church, into the Vatican, starting
from the Byzantine Empire, with Constantinople and that'd be through Turkey, right, through old Istanbul, and that would be that empire definitely starting through Turkey, the present day Turkey. I mean, Turkey is a country to watch out for. We're talking about Iran today, but Turkey is a country to watch out for. That's they're going to make it a play soon, I'm sure.
Well, it's actually interesting too, because even Alexander Dugin, though he hasn't been very productive as of late, even he says he has his own theories about it. He basically thinks that Constantinople was actually the site of the third temple, and that's where they'll rebuild it. It was a very interesting, like, I haven't heard very many people kind of say that, and he's a bit of a weirdo, and, you know, he seems to know a bit. I thought that was kind of interesting.
He's esoteric champion of the world right now, in a sense, right? Has Putin's ear.
Of the third world, essentially, right? Of the non-Atlantic, non-Western sort of world. So
people of the earth, the motherland, right? That's his book.
There was a specific speech that Rodigan gave where he said that the different factions and tribes of Muslims should all put their differences aside and come together against the infidels. And then after everybody was gone, they could discuss their differences.
So kind of like a Saladin character.
Yeah. So the thing is that who is anyone going to step up and come to the aid of? I mean, how hard would it be to take out the Navy, Iran's Navy, right now? Did they just take it out right now? Just
easy.
That's it.
Except for a couple submarines, yeah.
A couple submarines.
Honestly, yeah. Just a little drone swarm here, a little drone swarm there. We're just getting into that territory now, which is why it's been so successful, right? We had the Ukrainian op, which they said they'd been planning for months in advance because they had to secure a factory and drivers and all that jazz. And then we also learned that apparently Israel had been working for quote-unquote years, assembling, again, the factory and the the drones and everything inside Iranian territory to do some of this damage, allegedly. So this is kind of the first strike of a new tactic. People aren't ready for it for the most part. And by the time they are, it'll probably be too late, right? That's sort of my thinking, tactically speaking, right? That's
Well, I mean, we were saying earlier in the first part of the show that, you know, okay, listen, why wouldn't you be showcasing this technology down there with the uprising? Like, why would you put your military in harm's way without live ammunition and the ability to arrest anybody? Why would you put them in harm's way when people are going to be shooting and mowing them down? Why wouldn't you come in there with drones and just
unless
spray
it's to make a statement about why you need the drones in the first place?
Well, as everybody was paranoid about drones all over in New Jersey, now all of a sudden there's no drones. Whether the drones disappeared during the incident, or maybe they'll appear tomorrow. You know, like I was saying, you know, everybody's going to have their cell phone numbers on there. So if you're paranoid, if you know, I know there's a whole group of people that think that Trump is going to come arrest them someday for some reason, and you don't want to be on that cell phone list. Then if that's what you think, you don't want your cell phone down there. Is the thing. And then what happens? You leave your cell phone. You can't. Would people even go to a protest if they couldn't bust their cell phone out and take selfies?
Nobody under 30.
There'd probably be nobody there if you couldn't use your cell phone. Hey, we just want to let everybody know.
No, that's true.
No cell phones. Sorry. Leave your cell phone at the gate. You can pick it up on your way out of the free speech zone.
They just fire up one of those jammers.
Dude, what happened to the
localized jammers?
What happened to those free speech zones, dude? Remember back when Bush was president? They had a free speech zone. They put you in this fenced area.
You don't even get that anymore.
What happened to them?
We evolved past that, Jimmy. We're on the course to humanity first, or whatever.
Well, I'm just saying, you got people contained behind a fence. You know, they get smart. You just spray them with some water. You know, hit them with the hose, like they did back in the '60s. They used to hit people with fire hoses.
There's the skunk juice that they hit them with, and then they hit them with dyes as well.
Yeah. You know what they're gonna do? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, S9, but just made me think. You know what they're going to do, Jimmy? They're going to actually make you have to have a phone to protest. That's how they're going to get you. That's how they get all the people under 30 to come in the first place. Yeah, you can come. You know, make sure you have your cell phone with you. It's all good, right? And then the people who don't have their cell phone, the skilled protesters that protested for real back in the day, the older people were like, hell no, man, we ain't doing that stuff, right? But the TikTokers, they're all going to show up because they want to make their videos. It'll be the very thing that they'll do.
Man.
And then they're all tracked.
Funnily enough, even the new president of South Korea, who has interesting policies, some which lean towards China and kind of socialism, communism, but also some which sort of lean right as well. So he's an interesting character. He he essentially won his election on the back of two things. One, a failed assassination attempt. Two, viral sort of social media footage of him climbing the fence during that martial law protest or something. He was climbing the fence of the Parliament building and trying to get inside and like posing for selfies and stuff. And that's how he got elected. So.
Hey, did you hear that?
I did hear that.
All right, so you guys can hear me making a call. All right, so listen, I'm going to give out the number, 831-337-8711 if you want to call, 831-337-8711. If you want to give us a call, get in on the conversation. We'll see what happens. 831-337-8711. That's the number to call if you want to give us a call. Rio, did you hear that phone ringing?
I did, yes.
Okay, excellent. So then you should be able to hear calls then. So we might have something worked out here if you want to give us a call. Anyways, to continue on, so where do we go from here? Because he says now it's going to be 2 weeks. So what are they going to just sit there and just sit there and get bombed out for 2 weeks? Is that? I mean, you just say, hey, hey, it's going to be about 2 weeks. I'm just going to drop some bombs on you. Is it going to go on for 2 weeks?
You said it might go months. Yeah. I mean, as long as it takes. Very similar rhetoric to what they said going into Gaza, actually.
It's all too much. We got a call coming in. Let's see what that happens with this call. Hello, caller.
Hey, Jimmy, it's Eric from Messages. How you doing?
Hey, what's happening, man?
Hey, yeah, I'm sorry that YouTube's scaling you like that with the picture I sent you. Your
yeah.
count of 140.
Yeah, thanks for sending that in. So you saw it at 140, so I'm getting sandbagged as usual. Yep. But so what are you thinking about what's going on here, man?
I mean, it's just like when I had buddies of mine like, hey, let's go down to January 6th one. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like I never went to that. All my friends, a bunch of my friends were like, yeah, we're going to go down and go to the Capitol. I'm like, y'all going to bring your cell phones too and post your pictures or what?
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. Is like most people don't turn off the metadata on the pictures they take. You know what I mean? So,
right. Yeah, yep.
I mean, I think
they live streamed. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that the reason that's there in the first place? Is because when cell phones first started, they were paranoid people are going to go take pictures of federal buildings and stuff. Like, isn't that why they stay? If you take pictures around a federal building, they start.
J6, all the cell phone signals were jammed for J6.
Yeah. Yep. And that's kind of the point. I think you get people reliant on something, and then you're able to switch it off when you need to, right?
Well, that was the point I was bringing up. That was the point I was bringing up about these protests here. Is that the first thing that you would do is turn off this ability to make cell phone calls in an area like that because you want to isolate the people that are there. But they weren't isolated. They were sitting there shooting video. That's bullshit, man. There's no way a commander would do that in a situation like that. First thing you do is, it's out. You call you got the cell phone carriers on the phone. You know what I mean? Turn that off. Yeah, no, it's absolutely ridiculous. What else are you thinking about this here? No, Eric.
Oh, I was just letting people know. Obviously, even when the cell phones were jammed, I mean, that doesn't mean that they can't scan whose IMEI numbers and whose phones are there. That just means you can't use it to contact them.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, good point. Good point.
I've always wondered, actually, Jimmy. I still got a flip phone, so you can. I love when you say, "Oh, the flip phone." Like I still got one. I've never had a smartphone in my life, but I've never downloaded an app. The only apps I like come before my entrees.
Okay, so what is the acronym for SMART? So it has something to do with military, and I can never remember the acronym. And when you search it,
I know what you're saying. I don't remember it either. I have to look it up, but I don't remember it.
Somebody in the chat room search it and see if you can find it. See what SMART actually means, because it's not something you want. You definitely don't want anything smart. It has something to do with.
I've always joked it's smarter than the people holding it.
Yeah, the M is military. I'm pretty sure. It's something military.
I thought maybe it was metric, but I couldn't remember.
No. Anyways, yeah. So, you guys hear the call, everybody?
Well,
Yes.
I know everybody hears it on YouTube. Okay, good. Well, excellent.
Here's one for
Can
you.
you hear me,
Jimmy.
Rio?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay, cool. Hey, how was that car you bought from Springfield? Did it ever last? Or I always wondered what happened with that.
The what?
With what?
Oh, you said you bought a car from Springfield one time, from Mass.
Oh, man, that's my daily driver.
Oh, right now? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Right.
Yeah, but I bought it up there at the Mazda dealer, the Belize Mazda.
Oh, Belize Mazda, that's hilarious. My dad owns a building near there.
See, there you go.
Sweet.
I got a meaning of smart here that'll tickle your fancy.
Go ahead.
Everyone, I got smart, or secret militarized arms in residential technologies.
I think that's it, man. Now, what does it say? What is it? Does it give a short synopsis of what that actually is?
Let me double check. I'm gonna do a search just for this phrase itself.
Yeah.
There's another one, but it's for mnemonic writing.
What'd you say?
Well, the one that comes up first is just a writing thing: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. It's a mnemonic device, they say, for goal setting. So it's the sales version, right?
Yeah.
It's not what we're looking for.
No,
that's the first thing that comes up.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's not easy to find it anymore. You used to be able to just find it.
Well, exactly.
You can't find what the acronym means anymore.
That's so many things like that, man. Just like when the internet goes off for 3 days, he'll just go away with all the other stuff. They'll purge the internet of all that other stuff, right?
Exactly. How do you know it's not there? If you never looked for it before, you don't know it's missing.
Right. Kind of like that simple set program on the internet. Yeah, exactly. The demon on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Well,
down the memory hole.
Exactly. If you don't know it's there, it doesn't exist.
Jimmy, I always had a question about cell phones for you, actually, like the technology.
Shoot.
Since I've always had a flip phone, so I can take the battery out. And when you take the battery out, it can still be located, right?
I don't know. It's potentially yes.
Yes, if you're using if you have a phone with an RFID chip in it, it can still get pinged when it's near a sensor.
But he has a flip phone, so
probably not then.
Yeah, you probably are right, but allegedly.
Yeah,
there's no. We're not giving financial advice.
Yeah, right. I think the Nextel one, you still would be able to. Yeah, that thing had that RFID chip in there. It had that super strong signal, man, for the all call, where it warp your TV screen if you need it. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually put it in one of those blackout bags when I'm not using it.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Everybody should have one. Especially here. I'm telling you right now, man, it's not going to be long. I just got a thing. I have to renew my driver's license all of a sudden.
Yeah, me too.
So that means I'm going to have to go down and get me one of them smart IDs, man.
Yep. Or your passport, but my passport expires in November, so I got to get one. Either way.
I've got to renew mine as well.
Digital passports have been approved.
They give you this new passport card now, too, that looks like a driver's license.
That's
very
what I mean.
similar.
Digital passports now have been approved last week.
Oh yeah. You can have your passport on your iPhone now. You don't even need to carry the paper book anymore.
Nope. How hard is that going to be? How hard is that going to be to fake?
They're doing that so people don't turn off their cell phones when they go through the checkpoints at TSA, because they're being advised to do that now, right? We talked about last week.
Well, plus you ain't going to get to the check. By the time you get to the checkpoint, you've already been facially recognized. They already know who you are. And your phone.
Did you see that at the customs? They have that now, where your eyeball thing we're talking about, old Steve Altman's thing. I mean, they're already doing that. You go get that pre-approved, basically, you're pre-scanned, and you don't have to go through regular customs. You just go get your biometric scan now.
I've been hearing reports of a bunch of different people going to airports and saying there's nobody there anymore.
Hey, the button fingers in the Rev Radio chat says SMART stands for self-monitoring and reporting technology.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
That's the one. Thanks. Over in the chat.
Is that the acronym for Smart Dust?
Yeah. And that's exactly what your phone does, right? Self-monitoring and reporting.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
They recognized you in the airport, Rio, without anything, right? Came up and said your name.
Yeah. That's that was really creepy. That was. It's not actually the first time that I was recognized in the airport, because back during the whole 2020 situation, I did not fill out the appropriate paperwork for my needle. And I had a dude walk up to me in the airport and said I needed to fill out the appropriate paperwork before I crossed back into New York State, or I would be subject to being arrested and fined. Some dude with a lanyard and an iPad just randomly walked up to me, and then the couple of weeks ago, I was just standing in line at the TSA, and the dude called me by name and said, "Hey, you can come over here." I was like, "Okay,"
Exactly.
and it took a minute for that to register, but
all I'm hearing is Mr. Anderson.
The dude knew my name before I gave him my driver's license.
Chicago Brew in the chat saying that when you go down to get your new ID, they make you look down at a certain thing, and then they scan your eyeball.
Let's say that. I didn't have to do that in Mass.
I didn't get my eyeball scanned when I got my updated driver's license. I just had to give them my birth certificate and passport and all the proof of residence and all that nonsense.
Do you have TSA
I'm wondering
pre-screen?
what state person in the chat is, what state they're from in the chat that said they had to look into something.
Well, they do me when I leave here in Hawaii, Inter Island even. I'm TSA pre-screen approved, right? But when you go through the line, it has the camera with the two lenses on it that go right at your eyes. So scanning something. Yeah.
They have that. They do have that in Orlando now. The first place I actually saw it was in Austin. They've had it for probably a year and a half now in Austin, where they just do the facial recognition thing with the little camera. I don't know if it's an eyeball scan or just facial recognition, but
it's probably facial recognition, but it's stereo. It's got the two lenses, so it's a 3D scan.
Yep.
Facial scan.
Yeah. But they've had that for a while. Newark still does not seem to have updated their technology. Well, they have the dual lens scanner now. That was a new thing on my last trip, but they hadn't had it previously. And the TSA pre-check is a joke, because I always walk right up to the front of the line is never more than 10 minutes. It's not even worth the TSA pre-check.
Which airport were you in where they came up to you and said your name?
That was Newark.
No,
actually both incidents were at Newark. One was on the way home during the situation, and then one was just a couple weeks ago when I was flying out.
Right.
So I guess they have facial recognition. The minute you walk in the airport, they know who's there, who you are. If you belong there or not, because they have your picture from previous flights or whatever. They know who's booked, who you're supposed to be. They don't let on that they know, but they know.
It cracks you up. They got the gate recognition, the way you walk out in the parking lot, the Interpol's connected to for international stuff too, right? So looking for international criminals supposedly. And I wondered how that could even be possible, because here in Hawaii and Maui, there was a car in the parking lot that had the tires lifted off of it. So how the hell did that happen at the airport parking lot, right? Yeah, I mean, it's not like
they didn't care.
Well, they don't care about actual crime. They want to know.
They don't care about crime. That's what makes sure they identify the people, right?
They're not looking for tire thieves. They're looking for international terrorists.
But what they're looking for is stuff to use on you later if you become a problem.
That's right. That Epic guy, he's got that weird limp, man.
That's
keep an eye on that guy.
Yep. The day before the statute of limitations on stolen tires, if that guy messes up, hey, knock, knock, knock.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's pretty creepy. You know, like walking through the airport and the dude calls you by name. Oh, you come over here. Oh, huh?
Like I said, all I can think of is Mr. Anderson.
Well, you know, it's only a matter of time before that happens every place, right? I mean, like, you know, you go to the bank, you know the teller because you go in there all the time or whatever, but you know, you'll be able to go to some place and it'll, you know, you'll walk up to the ATM and it'll go, "Hello, Mr. Jones." You know, you won't even have to put your card in. It'll just know who you are.
The Minority Report style.
No,
Yeah, I was gonna say like Minority Report. You walk up to, you get someone else's eyeballs, and then you get their shopping habits whenever you walk
Yeah,
into
you
the
get
store.
their targeted advertising.
Yeah. How embarrassing.
A bag of eyeballs to go around town.
Do you think they'll just have contact lenses like they used to have to make people have fake eye colors? You just have contact.
That would be a great way around it, or even just a pair of glasses, right? That has some kind of you know, maybe laser etch or something in it that would deflect that, or
Remove your eyewear, citizen.
Yeah, that's
if you had an
taser
eyewear
you.
that could fake an iris print, though, right?
Remove your eyewear, or I'll tase you to the ground.
Your
It's always the
cooperation
low
is
tech.
required.
It's always the low tech solution that seems to work out the best, though, right? And it's just always, you know, some random person comes up with that one thing.
Well,
I think I just did, right?
Take care of those.
I just broke the system.
We'll take care of those latex masks and fake contact lenses.
Get a facial tattoo to disrupt your profile. It says, "Walk around in Kiss makeup, you'll be okay." Right.
We only they sell clothes now that like is marketed specifically to screw up the cameras. Have you ever seen them? They're like clothes with faces on them. Yeah.
With those patterns.
Certain patterns, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or thermal blankets, those camping blankets.
Yeah, Mylar. Yep.
All right. Well, listen, we got roughly about 30 minutes left of the show. If you want to call in, the number is 337-8711, area code 831. 337-8711 is the number. Let's see what happens if someone else calls in while you're on here, Eric. I want to see if it rings or what happens.
Okay.
So 831-337-8711 is the number to call. If you want to give us a call, find out what the hell's going on around here. Maybe you got an opinion about what's happening. I've been listening to McCain all those years ago. I've been hearing about this for years and years and years, and everybody said when it happened it was going to be the end of the world, but the end of the world didn't seem to happen. It seemed like the stock market dropped 600 points in the futures, and then all of a sudden it came roaring back the next day. So now is the stock market stabilized, cock? The stock market go back up today, just normals. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I don't know about the stock market. I know Bitcoin's doing pretty well, you know, so.
Yeah, stabilized.
And what's happening is a lot of the major firms, not just tech firms, but just major firms in general, are trying to get their Bitcoin reserves on.
Well,
so anytime you have war, yeah, that's stock market's going to go up, man. That's it. Yeah, we're in a war economy.
Well, I don't know, because the gas thing's what it is, like, because of the petrodollar, right? So it went down 7.69 today because of the war with Iran, primarily because gas prices spiked. So not gas prices, oil prices specifically. So it's all about that. I think if oil goes way up, then it's going to hurt a lot of things because it's going to hurt us. It's going to hurt America, the petrodollar, because it won't hurt the digital currencies. It'll hurt that. So I wonder where they'll go from there. Like if it goes up to $200-300 a barrel, it aids Russia tremendously. As much as it would hurt Iran's going to hurt in the war. I mean that partnership they have with Russia. Strategic partnership. I mean, it might be to their benefit. Just go ahead and shut off the Strait of Hormuz. Let the Houthis close off the Red Sea. All those tankers have to go around, all the way down south of the Horn of Africa, right? I mean, that's a long way, man.
Well, it just begs the question. Are these just more bankers' wars going on,
Probably.
Aren't there? Didn't they just come out and say they were going to tokenize oil like 2 weeks ago? I wonder if you got some oil tokens. I wonder how much those oil tokens are going to be worth. I don't know. It's something to consider.
Volatility.
Yeah. Here comes Elvis Costello.
Man from the television crawling to the train. I wonder who's gonna stick it in this time. Everyone was looking for a little entertainment, so they probably put his hands up when they find out his name, and then they shut down the power all along the line. And we got stuck in a tunnel with no light shining. Got that touch in all the girls who were too scared to call out. Nobody was saying anything at all. We were waiting for the end of the world. Waiting for the end of the world. Waiting for the end of the world. Dear Lord, I sincerely hope you come and
Mama, get yourself some storable food. Dig yourself a bunker out back, just in case.
Folks, you better shave your head like Alex Jones.
Did he shave his head?
I'm not sure if he shaved his head recently, but he always does. He overreacts now. The first time he did it, it was kind of like, "Oh, what's this?" And then third, fourth time, you're like, "Okay."
Man, he's gone. He's turned into. He's a combination of Rush Limbaugh, Howard Stern, and
Tucker Carlson. Honestly,
it's crazy, man. I mean, he might as well go on.
How much he's changed? It's crazy. It really is crazy how much he's changed.
But has he really changed? I mean, you can go back to Bill Cooper, and when Bill Cooper started, Alex Jones called Bill Cooper drunk, and then Bill Cooper got pissed and started going after him all the time. And I even heard the interview that Bill Cooper did when he was on Alex Jones's show when Alex Jones accused him of being drunk. Bill Cooper on that interview said, "I'll probably die on my front porch in a hail of bullets." That's what he said on that show. And then come to find out, Bill Cooper had one leg, and he literally ran to the porch of his house on his one leg, shooting backwards with a .38 revolver. Meanwhile,
and apparently scored a headshot through a window or something crazy. I'm not sure.
There's a lot of people that say that that's the moment when the Bill Cooper was taken out and Alex Jones was installed. So we'll see.
Maybe. I have my questions about him too. There's a couple of questionable things, but
I know.
As far as waking, that's kind of the way. I woke up because of the stupid Alex Jones movie or whatever about Bilderberg, and now I see him for what he is, but I'm still grateful for him pointing it out to me, right? It's not like, I don't know. I can be grateful for him at least opening my eyes a little bit, and grateful too that I saw through his baloney, but his particular brand of baloney.
Wow.
Reminds me, Bohemian Grove season's coming up, isn't it? 2 weeks, something like that.
Well, Bilderberg season's right now, the exact same weekend as G7. So you got 3 major hullabaloos going on all at once. I don't know how they managed to, stay awake this whole time. You got 3 giant parties to go to. Some of them on the exact same weekend. Man, they're living, the college frat life still.
People look yeah, pretty much.
Don't worry, they got their private jets, but you better stop driving. The hypocrisy.
Now we all kind of theorize that maybe Alex Jones, being the good-looking buff guy at the time, might have been one of those male prostitutes brought in. They didn't sneak into Bohemian Grove; he was brought in, right? It kind of fits, for the time there.
The thing is the doorknob at that back door where the gay prostitutes come in from San Francisco. There's no outdoor knob. You can get in, but you can't get out until someone lets you out.
My favorite quote from the Nixon tapes, when they played the tapes, it somehow escapes a lot of people, but he's talking about Bohemian Grove, and he goes, "That's the most fakey thing I've ever seen." Yeah. That's literally what he says.
Not that there's there's nothing. Not that. Not that.
No,
there's
but that's what he
anything wrong
says, right? Like, because they were bringing in the male prostitutes. Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. We're not judgmental.
No, I'm quoting Nixon. I'm not just quoting Nixon. Yeah.
No, I
But he's
was
on tape.
just saying epic. It's funny. It's funny that you said he maybe was brought in. So are you telling me he's a gay frog?
There you go. It makes sense, right? That's what's got the obsession with the gay frogs.
Well, I had Christopher Everard on the show, and we were talking, and I brought this up, and he said that there was a Swedish film crew making a documentary about Bohemian Grove, and they were the ones that got Alex Jones into the Bohemian Grove. Was that Swedish film crew?
Wait, you're talking about like the 2005 time?
Whatever time it was that he said he snuck in there.
Yeah,
there was some.
that was John Ronson. Do you know John Ronson?
No.
Have you seen The Men Who Stare at Goats?
No.
Yes.
He's the author of the book exposing it. So it was originally a book exposing a fringe battalion in the army called the 1st Earth Battalion.
Right.
And this guy had drawings, and it was like, soldiers shooting rainbows out of their guns, and they had their backpack would have a ginseng regulator to combat stim them during it was hippie insanity, but it had actual serious funding, and it was basically MK Ultra adjacent and Timothy Leary adjacent and all the stuff that
Richard Allen Miller was involved in that too.
Richard Allen Miller, I was gonna say, yeah.
Richard Allen Miller, he's a lunatic. He's a whole show in and of himself, and the things he was involved in: Mankind Unlimited, the Human Potential Movement, all that junk. Anyway, so John Ronson is the guy who was writing a book about the 1st Earth Battalion that was turned into that movie with George Clooney, The Men Who Stare at Goats, and he is the guy he was the film creator behind the Alex Jones Bilderberg entrance, and he was there with him, but he tried to stay out of the footage quite often, and it was interesting because going backwards and researching that 1st Earth Battalion a bunch of the people who, quote unquote, conspiracy theorists, and I'm one of them, right? Trust are actually members of that, like that Carol Rosen, the silver-haired lady who was von Braun's secretary.
Later.
Right.
She was involved in all that, so I highly doubt she's, on our side, so to speak, right, or on the side of truth.
I can't stand that quote when people go around quoting that thing.
Yeah,
that quote,
he said
I
feel it may not have even ever happened, because I feel there's enough stuff in her past to question her agenda for wanting to say that. And basically that whole thing with Stephen Greer and her and Hoagland, and they were at the White House giving the disclosure briefing in 2001.
It's bullshit.
They all kind of acted like, we all just sort of got to know each other because of the UFO. No, they all write about it in the 70s and stuff, and they were all hanging out together and part of the same groups and stuff.
Oh, that's true.
It's literally just another web. All the UFO disclosure junk and the Stephen Greers and the David Wilcoxes and the Carol Rosens, it's literally another web of the elite screwing with you.
It's
Go look it up.
Stephen Greer's a newcomer, comparatively to the other ones were older, They've been around a lot longer.
Yeah. The Hoaglands. And it's funny because again, we'll just circle back. Bill Cooper had no love for Hoagland, no love for any of the pro UFO stuff.
Me neither. Say something to go on Hoagland whenever Hoagland's on the air. Call in and say something. The moon landing's fake, and watch what happens. He was one of the people. I mean, he's like one of the people that started all of these alternative media people going, well. At first, everybody was like, nah, we didn't go to the moon. And then all of a sudden, there became this whole group of people who went, well, I think we've gone to the moon, but just not the way they say we did.
The original secret space program, right?
Right, yeah. It's like that.
It's also sort of a moving of the goalpost, which is kind of intellectually disingenuous and something that the right and it's almost two separate factions which occupy the same space right now. The political right and conspiracy theory, right? They are two separate groups that occupy the same sort of location in the world right now. And they both will go after, their boogeymen, i.e. the left or the Clintons or whatever, you're moving the goalposts on blah, blah, but they just do it themselves. It's all it really is hypocrisy to the point where it's like they got the anti-racists to vote for racist old man Joe Biden, and they got the anti-Israel people to vote for the guy who got the Jerusalem crown from the Israel Heritage Foundation, right? It's just a joke at this point. Whatever opinion you've been given by the internet, you probably would just want to look into the opposite and maybe reverse what you think. That's kind of one day I was literally just sitting there watching Alex Jones as I did, and I was just kind of wondering. I was like, well, I sort of just wondered. I was like, well, what's behind him? What's going on with him, rather than all the people he talks about. It was just a random thought. And then that just started this chain reaction where you can't look into any of these super heavyweight conspiracy heroes without finding a bunch of very bad stuff.
He was just saying that Palantir is not bad.
Yeah.
He was just I mean, it's I'm not saying they're bad either.
The worst thing ever.
I'm not saying they're bad either. I'm just saying I don't want them in my government is all. I'm not saying, I'm not passing judgment on Palantir and their technology. I'm just saying I don't think it's un-American. It's un-American.
Their methods become unsound.
He needs to be terminated.
But it's for our safety, Jimmy.
With extreme prejudice. We're going to be back tomorrow night with the Chilluminati, the Inner Sanctum, Rock and Rio. Can you reverse that announcement that I left for you in Teams?
Yeah, actually, that's what I've been doing on the side here a little bit.
Sweet.
See, you're talking about the Benny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She rides, let loose upon the wall. She is the night, and my loneliness and bondage she's glad. Hey, sand runs down her back. She rides.
831-317-8711 is the number to call. You'll only find us right here, right now, on Ground Zero Plus on Revolution Radio every Friday night, 9 o'clock Pacific. We follow Ground Zero Plus here on Ground Zero Plus. We follow Ground Zero beyond Ground Zero every Friday night. Saturday night, 8 o'clock Pacific tomorrow night. Rock and Rio's going to reverse that speech, Netanyahu. Did you find anything you got any tidbits?
I do. I got two that are fairly decent here. The first one is we shared a virus villain. Did it last? And then it says now the world's pissed off. So
I would have to agree. I think the world is pissed off. Go ahead. I think I did hear that. Go ahead.
I'm sure it is. Okay, so here's the we shared a A virus villain did it last. Right, and then this one is the world is pissed off. The world is pissed off. And
Sounds like the world is no more. That's what I heard.
Come back again. Yeah, the world is no more.
World is no more, bro.
World is no more. And then the other one, yeah, it could be the world is no more. That would make sense. This
the
one,
world ripped him off.
Yeah. This one says, now let's see if the Lord saves us.
To Israel's very survival.
Oh, will we ever see if the Lord saves us?
Damn. So, tomorrow night, Illuminati. Come back and we'll hear the whole entire situation coming out of that. Netanyahu.
The whole tabbouleh.
It's a long way to Tipperary, man. It's a long way to Tipperary. All right.
Hi, laddie. So you best hop in with Jimmy.
337-8711, 831's the area code coming to you straight out of the Santa Cruz Mountains. It's the middle of the night. It's black as black can be. Let me just say. Go ahead.
It's dark over there?
It's dark, man.
No moon?
No.
Cloudy?
Well, there's moon, but it's just not shining down on me. And I got these lights shining in my face. What was that? I heard noises. You getting messages?
Oh, it's probably...
The waning moon.
The beeping, it's Discord.
Discord.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, apparently you figured it out. So apparently next week we'll be back on Revolution Radio once again.
Yes, it seems to be functional.
All right, then. It's a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. Ladies and gentlemen, we ride every Friday night, 9 o'clock Pacific, all the way until whatever the hell time it's going to be here in another 20 minutes. What's it going to be? It's going to be 3 in the morning where you are?
Yes, it'll be 3 a.m., the witching hour here.
All right.
Here in the lovely state of New York.
Father's Day.
Oh, yeah. Are you guys going to be fathers this weekend?
I haven't done that yet.
No, I'm not going to be a father this weekend either.
I'm going to be, but long distance, I gotta phone it in, or be phoned in. I got some messages today ahead of time.
But I'm sure at least 2 or 3 people will wish me a happy Father's Day just because I look the part, I guess. I don't know.
Right? They'll pull you out of the line at the airport. Right.
I get that too real. People say, Happy Father's Day. I'm like, wish I was one.
Jeez. All right, well, it's getting late. It's almost time for us to go. You guys want to call in? You got one more chance. You got 10 more minutes. 831-337-8711. Eric, thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right. Don't forget, leave your cell phone at home. Forget your cell phone when you go to the protests, if you're going to protest tomorrow. The thing is, no slaves, no masters. That's anarchy, right?
Or some kind of there was a take on the Atlas Shrugged, and it was a video game series called BioShock, and basically rich people take. Yeah, it's really great, and they take.
It is
what was it? No kings, no masters, or whatever was
only
the
men.
slogan. Yeah, only men, and it almost has an Atlas Shrugged kind of feel to it. Like some of society is ready to just get up and go, but where are you gonna go at this point, right? There's nowhere the hand can't reach you. There's nowhere the Palantir can't see.
They're underwater.
Nowhere the hypersonic missiles can't land.
So the civilization underwater, and they DNA alter themselves. It's great. If people haven't played it, it's a great story. I'm surprised it hasn't been made into a movie yet. They have different versions of it. There's an excellent Half-Life Alyx VR mod for it if you want to play it in VR.
No, VR makes me feel ill, man. I tried it once, and it's just I feel like I'm
lot
going
better now.
cross-eyed after a second. No, but it's just right in front of your face. It's like your parents said don't sit close to the screen. Well, now you're putting the screen right up into your eyeball.
It's everywhere. Just in front of your face. I can't make you do it. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a lot better now. Just try this now. It's good now. They got the although the one for the Emperor isn't good. That one makes me a little sick. That one.
I think I'll stay as analog as humanly possible for now.
You don't have
See
much
where
more
it
time.
goes.
You don't have much time. You better get to where you're going if you're going somewhere.
No, just chilling with you boys.
I just mean if people are going somewhere and they want to be off the grid, they better be off the grid soon.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Get a move on.
Definitely.
Get a move on. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The time is long past to do anything or to at least start planning for something you want to do, somewhere you want to go, something you want to have in your back pocket.
But remember, if you do go off grid, you have to face the raccoons.
Oh, they'll steal it. They'll steal your cannabis. I heard.
And they get the rats over here, man.
He tried to
Face
come
off the
back.
rats.
Thumbs.
He tried to come back.
Oh, he tried to sell it back to you?
No, he tried to come back. I saw him coming. I saw him coming.
He
Right.
found the good weedy once more. Yeah,
That's right. I saw him coming. I pointed at
cool,
him.
man. He washes his hands first.
I pointed at him and said, "No, man, no." And he went back into his hole.
Speaking of washing your hands, have you guys seen the video? This is sort of a viral video. Some nature photographer was in the forest, and a monkey sort of beckoned him over and grabbed his hands and sort of made a bowl from his hands and used his hands to drink the water. And then when he was done, this is the key here, when he's done, he washed the person's hands, right? Kind of knowing, oh, my hands are dirty and gross and I've touched you. I'm going to use your hands as a bowl, and then I'm going to wash your hands afterwards. They're more than ready to take over after us when we're done. Planet of the Apes, I guess.
Yep.
Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Big shot, tell me what goes on around here. Go on and get me in the corner, smoke my cigarettes and drink my beer. Tell me that this world is no place for the weak. Then you can look me in the eye and tell me if you see a trace of fear. You gotta look sharp. You gotta look sharp. And you gotta have no illusions. Just keep going your way, looking over your shoulder.
All right, we're heading out. You guys say goodnight. We're out of here.
Say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. We'll
Good night,
see you tomorrow
everybody.
night.
God bless.
Yeah, 8 o'clock Pacific. Thanks for being here, S90. Thanks for being here, Epic Journeyman. Thanks for being here, Rock Rio. Thanks for being here, CAC. Everybody, thanks for you being here. We'll see you tonight.
Good night, everybody.